Also, can you see everything?
Yes, I can see.
Cool. And we are live. Hello, everybody. Ray, good to glad to have you. Hello, lovely people. That is those who either are people or aren't lovely. I wouldn't want to leave anyone out. Light, good to see, glad to have you. Kiko, good to see, glad to have you. Infinite, Lolly Ho, good to see, glad to have you. Thank you, Ganelio, for recommendation on Try to Resolve. Yeah, my first test project is looking pretty good. I just need to tighten up the edits and transitions. Yeah, Ray says it too. DaVinci Resolve is a phenomenal tool. It's like crazy that it's free. Rag, good to see, glad to have you. And Ray, good to see, glad to have you. Going to collect the moon weapon since we have full stream. And Bahamut, best girl, of course. So I actually already went and collected Bahamut off stream. So we already have Bahamut. What we're gonna do is we're gonna be going back through the Lunar Tower. Me and Anir will be talking a bit, and we'll probably do the rankings, and then we may talk about maybe our journey thus far, or about prior Final Fantasies, or maybe we'll think about talking about the after years or something like that. But with that said, Naniri, how are you, my friend?
I am quite good. I will be fighting in about a week. My next Moto fight. I should really get like a tea patch or something, like for sponsorship or something.
Oh, dude, I will get that custom made for you in a heartbeat.
That would be so
yes,
cute.
if you want that. Okay, so like a vinyl on patch, or like what kind?
It would be for like the waist, but like so my tie shorts have a really thick, like almost like a 4-inch waistband. In terms of height, so something that could go on there would be great. Maybe something that would be able to swap out. That would be awesome. Unofficial sponsorship.
Okay, let's actually summon Bahamut real quick. See how powerful that is.
Oh yeah, I love the designs of these warriors.
Yeah, they're very. You know what They kind of remind me, they're like a halfway between like Allegan tech in 14, but also like the Iron Giants in like 10.
It's giving very Iron Giant, yeah. And the color scheme is obviously deeply Allegan. I like the arm cannons.
Yeah.
It's kind of giving what was the what's Char Aznabul's Gundam? The oh god, my Gundam knowledge is fleeing me. Begins with an S. Come on, help me out, guys.
Raven, good to go to have you. Welcome back to Neri. F4 battle music makes me inordinately happy. Good. Like,
I've been consistently impressed with the music, but I do think 4 is a step up in music quality, as well as so many other things.
Yeah, I mean, 3, I can no longer tell if, like, the reason I enjoy 3's music is more to do with the fact that it retroactively, I love it thanks to Shadowbringers.
I think it can be both, right? You know, I think both can impart value to something, both retroactive and inherent. So I think definitely sort of a composite would make sense here. I was thinking of the Sazabi in Gundam.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yep. I literally know so few Gundams by name. All the ones I know, I would know visually.
Yeah, I keep trying to get into Gundam more hardcore and then just bouncing off of it. But I really enjoy. So I think I'd get into Gunpla more easily than I would Gundam.
Oh, you know who's been getting into Gunpla? Ray has been doing a bunch of Gunpla recently.
Oh, really? I love that. I want to see like a custom Ray paint job.
Well, the funny thing is that, like, I just start getting pictures of Hello Kitty Gundams. It was
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Oh, Rag. It's a good time to get into Gundam because they started a new timeline. If you watch Witch of Mercury on Netflix, it's like a new branch. Pretty cool. And there's lesbians.
I'm trying to think. Oh, wait. Okay. Not... What was I just engaging with that had a bunch of different branch timelines that were like, it resets itself? Fuck.
Resetting timelines. I mean...
Well, just like how Gundam is, right? Where you just have different
like different continuities. Yeah. Huh.
Oh yeah, it's Infinite. You're right. Those guys are in Zot. When you first go into like when you first enter in, they're one of the enemies you can fight.
A lot of the old like horror series have multiple continuities, like Jason and stuff like that. They all have like several continuities.
Yeah, it was something fantasy though. I mean, fuck, man. I mean, arguably Final Fantasy's up in that category with its anthology style.
Yeah, I think that's true, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. And then you have, obviously the FF7, FF10 continuity.
Right. No, don't you fucking start on me on that. It's too early in the morning for you to start trolling me now.
Okay, fair. Oh, you've been getting into G-Witch, right? That suits you, okay. Are you like a big Choo-Choo fan? I feel like you would be.
Never actually seen Gundam. I know I should. Well, and it's hard to know where to start, though, right?
Yeah, it is.
Because, like, do you recommend G Gundam to someone?
No.
Like, it depends on what they're into.
I think definitely get into G-Witch. That's easier, and then you can go back from there. It's like, so I once tried to get into Star Trek, and I started with the original first episode, like in black and white. And I was like, this is too much for me. I watched a few, and I was like, I'm just bad. It's too dated for me. And then I think that just ruined. I need to get back into it at some point because it's obviously timeless. But
I feel like the earliest you can start is TNG, and honestly, I think the earliest you can start with TNG may not even be the first season.
Yeah,
they definitely found their footing as it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my dad's into Star Trek.
Levi, good to see you, glad to have you. Yes, you recommend G Gundam. Bramble, good to see you, glad to have you. You get the crystal sword since you're in the sublunar dungeon? I don't know.
According to Bramble, yes, you did, because of the sword sound. Bramble can recognize things in this game by sound alone, which I respect immensely.
That's amazing. That's genuinely impressive. Yukio, good to see you, glad to have you. I just got here. You guys are talking about Wonder that is the witch from Mercury. So I don't know anything about G-Witch. What is that a separate chronology or is it?
Yeah, so it's almost like it's its own separate continuity. It's got the same old like corporatism, space war stuff, and then it's also it's kind of like about like a Gundam school at its core, but it expands past that. And there's there's like gaslighting in it, and there's lesbians, and there's all sorts of things, and class war.
So Ray's kind of story.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, you've been building Ariel for like 3 months. Yeah, Ariel's a great model. I really want Shadiq's the claw that is on the end of a whip. Something I'm really looking forward to is Baldur's Gate 3.
That's so funny. I have not been paying attention to Baldur's Gate 3 for like the past 2 years, and the past week I just started diving headlong into it. So I am perfectly set up for this.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I played the beta a little bit, like a fair bit when it first came out, and then I took a big break because I wanted to experience it like semi-new past the beginning. So I'm really excited for, what is it, 3rd of April? No, 3rd of August? Wait. I don't know when months.
I know it was September 6th, I think, and then they moved it back to Starfield. So it's August. I think it's August 3rd.
Yeah, August 3rd. That sounds right to me.
But are you sure that the actual reason you didn't come back recently was because of the bear fucking?
The bear fucking is actually what made me look at it and think, okay, it didn't entice me in. I'm not going full Demins here, but I did see it and I did think, oh, I need to think about that. And then I looked at like some of the stuff that you can do in it and how wide it is in terms of like flavor for different classes and different paths that you choose. And I was like, okay, that's my kind of shit.
I mean, one fun thing to do would be because multiplayer exists for it like it does in like they had in Divinity's Original Sin. So it'd be fun to get like a group of friends together and like play through. Although the amount of time that would take, I'm sure, would be inordinate.
It would be really fun, especially now that I'm sort of between jobs. We would have to see how my connection holds up across the pond. But maybe
Oh, that's a good point.
We did get a new router recently, so
Yeah. Luckily, at least it's turn-based. Baldur's Gate 3 Dragonborn are immensely impressive. Yeah. I feel like the titles trolled me with a cute lesbian romance. DS9 is the best track. I start most people there. Yeah, my experience is just, I found it depends so person to person, but I can believe that. PC only and then PS5 in September for Baldur's Gate. I barely heard about it, but then there was too many news for me to bear. The only D&D game I played was Temple of Elemental Evil. I remember dying within the first few minutes to a frog. Well, the thing is I got on a kick. I was listening to a lot of stuff about Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 and Planescape Torment, and then I was like, I should go check back on Baldur's Gate 3.
I played recently. I played about 2 years ago in a campaign, like an actual D&D campaign that was, set in Planescape and drew very heavily on sort of the continuity of those games, set after those games. I think it was fun.
I'm kind of sad that the Planescape setting kind of went away because I feel like it's a real it's such an evocative idea.
Oh yeah, Sigil's a really cool setting, and the way they do it up, it's kind of like Oh, that did not work.
Luckily, he didn't have any damage yet, so
yes.
Healed nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of like I definitely think they took a lot of Ravnica from Planescape.
Oh my God, yes. Yes. I refuse to believe that there was no part of Planescape that inspired Ravnica.
It's very, very that sort of vibe.
Well, I mean, yeah, the idea of this, the 9, and then the same with the elements, and yeah, it's funny you said that, and it's like I now can never unsee it, but I never would have thought of that off the top of my head.
Yeah, just the stuff with the guilds, and I was just like, okay, this is just like Ravnica, huh? But no, it's really cool. I just love D&D, I guess.
Yeah, there's a YouTuber, Noah Caldwell Gervais, who I adore, and who did an entire thing about Planescape Torment, and just like they don't write stories like that very often, and especially not necessarily anymore. And what I realized is the closest spiritual successor there is to Planescape Torment, I feel, is ironically maybe Disco Elysium. Like in terms of style and weight, and like while it's two incredibly different like settings, the like style of oppressive atmosphere and like weight of your singular protagonist who has who simultaneously has an undefined and defined character story is fascinating.
So yeah, I agree. Planescape Torment is one of those games that sort of has this little spice to it that I can't always 100% sort of describe. I think it's a bit of esotericism in the writing, and it's like Morrowind has it, Disco Elysium has it, pretty much any indie game made by a Slav has it.
I think part of it, I think, I don't want to say it more commonly, but I feel like I have more examples I could probably come up with from fantasy, when it comes to the West in specific, from fantasy writers from like the 80s and 90s.
You don't get a lot of it from
like
the West nowadays, all from Japan.
Yeah. And I don't know if maybe part of that's just also the ubiquity of awareness. Like that, like part of
Hold on, I think my internet is fucking up.
Okay, we're back. I don't know what just happened there. OBS disconnected for a second, but we're good.
Oh, okay, that was strange. Yeah, that was strange. I don't know if it was on. Like my internet maybe was being weird as well. I don't know.
Oh. Okay, everyone, are we good? Are we back? I'm gonna wait for a second real quick. I'm gonna read things real quick. Also, Levi, happy early birthday for August 3rd. I'm not familiar with FanFest content. Would there be any teasing of 7.0, if anything? Probably not 7.0. We wouldn't probably get the trailer until EU FanFest. The main thing I think we'll get teased for 7.0 for FanFest will be a new job, the first of the 2 new jobs, if there's going to be 2, and then we might get Hrothgals.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we might get, I could imagine that. I could also imagine we get more information about the graphics overhaul.
Oh yeah, the graphics overhaul would be great, and in fact, Hrothgals would be a good vehicle for that too.
Yeah. Yep, back. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. I thought it was just me. Yeah, I literally have no idea what happened on my end. It just said OBS disconnecting. Like usually at least it's like, okay, the IP, the internet tanks or something, but
that's really strange.
I still didn't
it
hear
hit like all of us. It hit the people in the chat. It hit you. It hit me. Huh. Because my YouTube slowed as well.
Huh. I'm gonna go with Solar Flare.
Oh god, don't say that.
Proth girls. Ray, you excited for some Proth girls?
Oh, bless you.
You gonna swap over to Proth gal?
Oh yeah. I hope it's not a walk-in situation. I've said this before. I hope we don't get shitty Proth girls.
No, I feel like what we're gonna get is kind of close to the female Ronso, but
yeah,
just because like if Gunhilder was supposed to be a female Hrothgar, like in like one of the first versions, then it like sort of taller and not like slender, but like more like
yeah, like in
built
the art.
but not bulky.
Yeah, where you can see this sort of a muscularity, but she's you know, she's taller, she's more upright, she's a little more elegant maybe, and so are her handmaidens or whatever they are.
Much more almost slender female Rogan-y.
Yeah, I really hope that, you know, if they are going to take inspiration from that they don't go too far, they don't make them too sort of dimorphic, they keep some of the Hrothgar flavor on them at least. But you know, I'm actually not a big fan of how the Hrothgar look, don't kill me, but
AC, good to see, glad to have you.
Yeah, the mosaic, exactly, AC.
I tried to eat my halfling wizard whole, which has kicked off a whole running joke about how everything wants to eat my halfling. I never watched one of the keynote events live before, but I watched the older ones in video, and they seemed so fun that I would watch new ones coming despite all the spoilers.
They are fun.
Well, usually, it's interesting you say that spoiler. I guess I don't see that as, I don't see information. I like if they showed off the maps, I'd be with you, but I feel like if they're like just showing off the if they're like showing off like the new job and stuff,
they never give away the key stuff anyway. Like even if they show you the maps, even if they show you the trailer, I don't think they. Oh god, no, Yukio, I'm not gonna advocate for Necromancer in 14. You can't make me.
I have been on many times. I have explained my reasoning as to why we would never get a Necromancer, and I don't usually say never lightly, but like, it literally just goes against so many things that they've established in literally, I think, every expansion. Every expansion is some version of explaining why being a Necromancer would be complete sacrilege and evil.
For me, I'm a big
ARR,
alchemist or chemist fan.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for chemists. I'm also down for
Are you gonna
Geomancer.
go? Yeah, I was gonna say
no
Geomancer is what I associate with you the most.
Well, and also I want to asterisk when I say Geomancer, I mean Geomancer or Geomancer adjacent. So, for instance, if it was
the Eastern equivalent.
Yeah, if it was like Shaman or something, but it's clearly inspired by like Othardian Geomancy or like FF11's Geomancer or something, then I still hold that counts to what I'm getting at.
Oh, Bremblebear's on my team. Time Mage. Yeah, I say merge Time Mage with Green Mage.
That's Ast! But that's literally just Ast!
No.
You're describing Astrologian!
I want Green Mage. Give me here.
I mean, like, look, I feel like you could be like, well, yes, if you're describing Geomancer, aren't you just describing Ast plus Black Mage or something? So, fair enough. But like, literally, the more things they do with time, the more they're creating headaches for themselves in, like, very specific ways. And, like, there's already a couple time things. They already had more time things and then removed them from Ast because they were like, wait, no, this is a bad idea to have canonically.
Yeah, they did. They did that whole... Oh, God. That's an interesting zone. Blitzball Ace. I don't need a Blitzball game. I need Blitzballs for chat rooms.
I would love... So my thing is, I want Blitzball and the Gold Saucer more than I want Blitzball as a job.
Yeah.
But I would gladly take it as a ranged DPS.
I would accept it,
think
but I feel like it just hones in on Dancer a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I think that's fair. How much health does this thing even have? And I'm scared to cast Cure. Do I cast Cure on him or do I cast Cure on me?
Wicked Mask. Does he ever show up in 14? Yes, he does. Oh, Death Mask.
Okay, we're trying summoning.
What's he weak to? He takes 4 times damage from hammer weapons. I don't think we have any hammers.
That's weirdly specific. Oh, okay. Nice. Necromancer's a bad idea lore-wise and gameplay-wise. Yeah, gameplay-wise, I think you could do something that's like we talked about like a heliomancer, right? Or something like that where you're like doing stuff with blood, and I think like that's twisted and I'd still be like on it, but I could be more behind it.
Oh yeah.
Like, but the sanctity of life is such like a fundamental theme going on throughout the game, and a constant thing is those fucking with people's souls in the underworld is like textually evil. If we get Chemist, I want Team Fortress 2 heavy sandwich tossability with potions. Yeah, I mean, basically. Exorcist or Omyoji. I don't know that we'd get Omyoji, but again, I think we could get something Omyoji, a place it adjacent with like Shugendo, like with Gosetsu.
I would
get us whatever job Clive is in 16. I mean, Clive is just a Dark Knight mixed with the Summoner.
I would like to see Puppeteer as well. Yeah, I like Puppeteer. I think you can give them like a hammer as well, like a one-handed hammer.
But like, a Puppeteer's like basically a pet job. Like, how do you make that work as a non-limited job in 14 that doesn't make the devs go, we made a mistake?
I think you just give them one puppet. Like, you don't... Or maybe you give them, like, basically carbuncle level of customization. You don't give them very much customization.
But then the puppet people aren't going to be happy.
Puppet people are never going to be happy. It's like the Blue Mage people. Like me.
You're not wrong.
Which is, by that.
You're not wrong. Necromancy is not consensual. Yeah, you there's no real way to consent like for it to, you're either desecrating a corpse or you're desecrating a soul. There's not really a way to get beyond that.
Pretty much. The only reason so many people want Necromancer is number 1, edgy, and number 2, because people wanted to hook up with the boss from Shadowbringer.
What manner? Oh, the Necromancer boss.
Yeah.
From Hero's Gauntlet.
Yeah, people saw that and said, "Oh, mummy, sorry, mummy."
They should have given us a Lulu Glam when they took our belts away.
I need no more design.
I'm surprised there's... I was about to say that I was surprised we haven't gotten a Lulu Glam yet. I feel like the closest we've gotten is basically you stole a Shadowbringer's dress.
That's pretty similar, yeah. I honestly feel like the Woad caster set from Heaven's Ward isn't too far. You know, the one from Some All Normal.
Yeah. Puppeteer doesn't have to be a pet job. Imagine you puppet as the Dark Knight 80 skill. Yeah, I mean, fair. I just feel like at that point, is it even a puppeteer, right? If you're not the puppeteer and it's just an additional thing that you have out.
But then you can have buttons that do things with the puppet. You know, like your cooldowns could like cause the puppet to do something, or inflict bonuses on the puppet. You know, like WoW style, basically.
Look, we're not getting another tank, which is good. I don't think we need another tank currently. And I so rarely play DPS that it's no skin off my bones.
Yeah. I mean, I think if the puppet is just your auto attack, Levi, then that's so boring.
Yeah, then it's literally what's the point?
It can be your auto attack and something. Like if it was your auto attack and cooldowns, then yeah, sure, that's fine. And then the rest is like throwing grenades or something. I don't know.
Strong advocate for Kaine Glam for Nier Replicant. Lulu's impressive for wearing high heels on the sand and maintaining a good figure while pregnant. I mean, literally, they didn't even change the model.
No, exactly.
I mean, the only reason that X2 got... the only reason X2 got produced as fast as it did, though, is because they reused it. They pulled a Majora's Mask for 10-2.
Yeah, that's true. But 10-2 has a lot to like about it, to be honest.
Oh, I don't say that as a criticism. I love when games like reuse assets in interesting to like a weird game gets created because a bunch of people use reused assets from a prior game in interesting new ways while also having a lot of new stuff. Because there's tons of new things in 10-2.
Yes, there is, yeah. There's you know, sort of mid 2000 style girl rivalries. There's a job system. I like the dress spheres. Some of them I'm not so big on.
In terms of their style or their function?
Their style more so. I mean, some of their functions aren't so great, but I think style, some of them go a little astray.
One thing I really appreciate, though, is that each girl has, like, their own style for each dress sphere. So, like, it's not just they all have the exact same outfit. It's not like, if you have White Mage on, they don't all have the exact same outfit on.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I like the, it's sort of...
whoa!
Oh, yeah, this has the biggest HP for any random encounter, I think, actually. Let me have a look.
Great.
Yeah, so it's sort of like an FF5 type beat, isn't it, with the different looks, and the FF3 actually as well in the remake. Oh god, it has.
Is there any weird shit that I gotta worry about with this?
Yeah, it's got break. You just have to go fast, I think, is the what's it weak to? Nothing notable.
Anything I shouldn't use against it? Okay, so when I use attacks or magics, it uses break. Okay. Well, that means basically Bahamut's kind of the only thing I can use.
Bahamut's a good one, yeah. It's immune to all
break edge out of that.
effects.
Okay. I'm thinking I might flee then.
Yeah, that might be a good idea, actually.
Oh, or not.
Oh, okay.
That works.
Apparently, he only uses break when you use magic. So if you use physical attacks, you might be okay.
Well, I used Holy and he didn't use anything.
Oh, okay. I don't know. This is a strange game at times, and the wiki is not very helpful. Need to look at other Squeenix games for jobs. What do you mean, Levi? What kind of stuff are you talking about?
You need to look at others. Oh, he's saying, so for instance, don't look at FF, but look at something like Vagrant Story, or like look at or Parasite Eve, or other Squeenix games for inspiration for new jobs.
I feel like I'd struggle to find much inspiration for that kind of stuff in, you know, that isn't already covered by sort of archetypes outside of them.
Honestly, I would look first and foremost to lore in 14 based off of their prior comments. And just think that they would make things that are original.
You could do Twooey, just throw pogs at people.
I mean, look, well, I guess that how much is that still just barred? I mean, but like, no, I would definitely. Okay, what would be like the most obscure ass? Like, what's a good like Chrono Trigger or something?
Frog Samurai.
He's more of a knight, really.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Mystics, Saga's Mystics.
Oh, dude! I never realized this. So while you're descending into the lunar subterrane, right? You see that giant red light below. It's like Zodiark's, the pit where Zodiark's soul is held, and where like this is very similar in style to when you look at the moon, like Mare Lamentorum or on the Red Moon in the Descent in.
Yeah, I see that. Oh, and there they are.
Golbez! Fusoya!
Oh, damn. That's a cool design for Xenos. I forgot he looked like that.
Dracula looking motherfucker.
Could you tell me how the Mystics from Saga work, Levi? I've not played the game.
That's right, you cast with magics.
Hell yeah. Hold. Hold what? Hold my hand. Oh, so I got my parents into watching The Walking Dead, even though I think the later seasons aren't very good.
I mean, agreed, but also... Now, cast Meteor. I am ready.
How futile!
Double
Oh,
Meteor.
double Meteor. Work. I wonder if this inspired
price of one?
the dual attack.
The body dies, but the spirit lives on.
Okay, cool.
I do love, like, you find Zemus for the first time in the entire game after not knowing he existed, and then immediately just dies.
Yeah, they didn't really lead up to this very well. Well, to him as a villain, I feel.
We did it. You have much strength. It is a shame Zemus had control over you.
All right.
All of you have come.
Yeah, but we're 1 second too late. I was supposed to take care of him. Believe it.
Cecil.
Cecil. Oh no, unexpected.
No one could have foreseen this possible outcome.
I am evil. I am the hatred of Zemus. I am Zeromus. I loathe all.
His death has caused his hatred to grow. We have made him stronger. Zemus, no. Now you are Zeromus. This time I will see to it that you are completely destroyed. It's time for you to disappear.
So, oh god, Glamrock. The thing is, AC, Zemus in his living club does look a lot like the other Lunarians in their concept art. That's how they kind of they're all like huge and sweeping.
Yeah.
Oh wait, this is a remix of what's it?
Meteor has no effect. Use the crystal.
Ah, the catchiest song in the world.
You've chose the dark path. The crystal cannot cleanse your sins. You are bound forever by darkness. Die!
Lady, good to glad to have you.
Vampire Fae folk who absorb spells from their enemies. I worry about how that would work in practice, though.
Suffer. Die. My hatred will continue until all is destroyed. It is your turn. Come, join me in hell.
The darkness. The darkness.
Elder. Cecil and the others are in danger.
So I see. Now is the time to pray for them. Pray for them and this planet. How can they see what's going on? Palum, Polorum. We must gather everyone's prayers and send them to Cecil. Are we about to spear bomb this shit?
Didn't this exact thing happen in FF3?
Brother, Cecil.
Please take my strength. I remember the voice halfway. I'm gonna kill the whole lot of you if you don't come back safe.
Best kind of prayers.
Please return to us safely. Aye, do it for the land.
What voice? Who did Luca?
I don't remember.
You have our support. We pray for you as well. Come on. For Sir Cecil, everyone.
Moon, I call out to you. Please accept our prayers. To be fair, this is a lot better than what happened in 3.
It is better done, definitely, because all of the dead characters don't come back in it. Well,
Golbez! You must use this. Received crystal. Zeromus, I won't lose. I can't. Oh, that's an interesting
an
background.
animated background.
Hey there. Let us help you.
Their prayers give you life.
Don't give up.
Trust in your power.
I guess
Their prayers give you strength.
Keep your focus.
Don't die on us.
Their prayers give you vitality. All this is just like visually better.
Yeah, it's visually
You must
cool.
prevail.
Cecil, my brother, give the holy power within you to the crystal. Zeromus shall show your true self.
Their prayers give you holy power. Time distortion. All magic has been nullified.
Huh. Anticlimactic miss.
Can I? Oh, I bet I have to use the crystal item or something.
Oh yeah, that would make sense actually. Oh yeah, Rag. I forgot about Cecil's casual misogyny. That was an interesting part of the game.
Ah, here it is. Zeromus reveals his true form.
Oh,
Jesus!
wow, cool. I like this design. I mean, it's a lot.
That's some kaiju-esque. This reminds me of like a fucking 90s SNES game.
Yes.
Like Contra boss.
Yeah, it's very that with all the ridges.
Dude, I didn't remember this battle theme. This is good.
It's very heroic. This music is. Big Bang. God damn.
Is that the first use of Big Bang?
I think so. Yeah. Ooh. An edge is
That's.
last.
I mean, he was at 2 health. I was expecting
Oh,
that.
okay, fair enough. Let me check if there's any tips for Zeromus.
Ooh, fuck. Ooh, fuck. That's not gonna go well. Oh, fucking, come on. Give me a break.
I can't find any tips on how to fight it specifically. No, he seems to just be weak to all stat. No, sorry, immune to just all statuses and normal. Oh, he absorbs all. He absorbs magic, except for obviously the summon.
Of course, the second I get Rydia back up. How long is all magic nullified for?
The whole fight.
So can I not? I just can't use healing spells whatsoever.
No, I think magic isn't all magic nullified. Doesn't that just refer to status effects?
I don't know. Does it?
Let me have a look. No, you can
God,
still
I
use
cannot
it.
get a second.
You can still use healing.
Party was defeated. Okay, we'll try that again.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, Rosa can still heal on this. You just can't cast status effects or it gets nullified.
Okay, cool. You want to tell me about your while we wait through this? You want to tell me about your parents and Walking Dead?
Oh yeah. So immediately, so we're on episode 3 together, and they immediately love Glenn, and I'm like, oof. I'm already.
Well, at least the show will go downhill well before that. It pays off in a negative
Well,
way.
that's true.
I mean, like, pretty much the point at which I was just like, when was the point that I was just like, oh, fucking come on? And like, I think at some point it was like, maybe with Alexandria, because it was just like, at some point it's like, okay, we're going to make them go through something terrible, and then there's going to be peace, and then we're just going to take that away from them because we have to have conflict. And it just constantly was this, like, at some point it's like, no, I want to hear the story of people finding their way forward in the future, not just this fucking up and down, haha, everything's heinous but not really, but everything's heinous but not really, but everything's heinous but not really.
Yeah, I had this whole. Think they had a really good basis with the when they had like the kingdom and Alexandria, and they sort of had like that tripartite alliance thing. And then they could have done conflicts like with them defending against outside groups, but then they just basically destroyed them all, and I was like, okay, work, I guess.
Welcome to our Final Fantasy replay series, where we talk about television.
Yeah.
Magic nullified his barriers. Okay, not sure the specifics of free androids does that. So constantly dispel your haste, etc. buffs. Okay.
So just keep healing on Rosa, I guess. Rosa is just our healer.
Do you think they'll make a remix for Zeramis' theme for 6.5? Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Or at the very least for 7.0.
It makes sense.
Zeramis might be my favorite vibe. Is it because the kaiju-y look or what?
Yeah, which form of Zeramis do you particularly like?
My favorite boss design... Ooh, that's hard.
That's a hard one, yeah.
There are a lot of good boss designs in FF. I'm gonna take 14 off the table.
Oh, okay.
I really like Orphan and Orphan's final form in 13. I mean, I'm to no one's surprise, I love Sin in all of Sin's forms.
Yeah.
As well as Braska's final Aeon.
Orphan is definitely cool. He's got that Catholic vibe going on.
Yeah.
That I think works really well.
But that like very specific Catholic vibe through the lens of Japanese over design aesthetic. That makes sense.
No, I definitely. He's almost like Art Nouveau Catholic design, which is an interesting sort of. I like a lot of the Lassie actually look really cool.
Yeah. Final boss or any boss? Let's say any boss. 12's final boss is pretty cool. Big metal. I kind of hate FF12's final boss design. I think it looks silly. Like, I genuinely remember the first time I saw it, I laughed out loud.
So
I found Vayne more threat when he looked normal.
Yeah, the Undying is not a super great design. Although I think there is stuff in 12 that has great like Ultima,
oh yeah, 12 is
and then the judges obviously.
There's also to be fair though, how much of 12's design comes from Tactics or Tactics Advance?
Well, yeah, I like all of the espers in 12.
Yes. Are all the espers though? All the espers are in original Tactics, right? Am I wrong?
Not all of them, I don't think. Most of them, but
Okay.
there are. I could be wrong there.
I like the idea of Bahamut being made of scrap metal.
Yeah,
That's the nice thing, right? That's the different, there's enough variety that we can have different. See, to me, like, I appreciate Zeramis's design. Like, I normally like kaiju and stuff like that, but maybe just because it's pixel art, it just feels like kind of just a mass of nightmare fuel rather than of like indistinct nightmare fuel. And here we go.
Oh,
I really like Oh, actually, Zeromus is literally an Esper, isn't he? In 12, I forgot about that. I like Hashmal. I was really happy to see him in 14.
Oh, I've got to think about what my favorite of the Espers design is. I mean, like, I love Zalera. Not the best one, though.
Zalera's good.
I mean, Belias might be, like, because he's just so, like, fundamentally, like, a good design. Like, a really, like, classic design.
Belias is sort of classic. Yeah, I definitely think Belias is maybe the most iconic of the Espers, I would say. I actually really like Kakulan. Obviously, he's sort of...
Oh,
he's intended to be
that's
gross.
such horseshit. Okay, I thought his shaking was him doing it immediately.
Have you got like
well, Kukulane, though, is it... Cuchulainn is a good like pestilence design.
Yeah, he's very Nurgle, like from 40k.
Like I don't love like pestilence, but I can love like certain Forsaken designs in WoW, for instance, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't want to be close to them, but you can look at them and think, oh, that's a cool design.
I should have just used that on radio.
Oh, Shem Hazai. I kind of hate Shem Hazai's design. Actually, I have to admit.
Which one's that?
It's like the woman with like the weird thing floating behind it, like the JoJo stand that's like a horse.
I don't remember that one off the top of my head. I gotta have to look that up.
Oh, Fanprint's not there? Okay. I really liked how they did Fanprint in 14. I thought that they looked super cool.
Yeah, Fanprint's good. I love Mateus is I think a great design, especially when you realize that Mateus isn't the woman.
Yes. Yeah, Mateus is awesome as well. I like all of the Espers except for what's it? Except for Shem Hazai. Oh, isn't Shem Hazai the centaur?
Can you send me that one? Can you send me that one in like just message me that one real quick?
Yeah, I will do. Shem Hazai is the centaur gunslinger. Yeah, but it's not actually a centaur. It's like a woman and then a weird thing. Let me send it to you.
Oh, what the?
Zeramis is kind of
We may have to do some grinding.
we may, yeah.
I thought I did enough grinding off stream.
Zellara. Yeah. Zellara is awesome. I like Zodiac as well.
What? You just healed for 99. Where did that come from?
Was it 99 or 9999?
No. It was 999.
Oh.
9,999.
Oh, Bramblebear says because
Okay.
we're not playing the easy version, we may need 10 to 20 more levels.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's take that time. We can do that. Look, we've got some extra time to stream anyways, so
Yep.
we're gonna do that. And then in the meantime, we can talk about some of the stuff we've been getting at.
Hell yeah.
Oh, see, I like this design. What is it? Do you not like that it's balanced because it's so long in the back area, or?
I think looking at it is just it's almost like the Bay Transformer design in that it's too busy.
I feel like if you're gonna say that about that one, you could say that about. Well, okay, so not Cuchulainn, but I think you definitely could say that about. Did he just scan me?
Yeah, that's what he mostly does, I think.
Interesting.
I think Ultima is really cool. I like.
US send me them as you find them, because some I don't remember.
Okay, cool.
Chaos and Fanprint are eacher. Shem Hazael's center guard. Mario RPG crossover with 14 would be hilarious. Not likely, but hilarious. Yeah, I can't imagine that would be. Have they ever done a product that's Nintendo? Who owns Yokai Watch? Is that level? That's level 5, isn't it?
Yeah, Yokai Watch isn't Nintendo because it's supposed to sort of take on Pokemon. But they have done
Same.
not 14, but they've done other Final Fantasy crossovers with Nintendo, right? Haven't they?
Yeah. I don't know if they have. I know that they Nintendo. I mean, Kingdom Hearts was on like there was a 3DS.
Yeah.
There's Dream Drop Distance, right? Which was they have a partner.
Wait,
They've
wasn't
had
Dream Drop
partnerships.
Distance on PSP?
Nope, Dream Drop Distance was on 3DS.
Huh.
Birthday Sleep was on PSP.
Oh, okay.
I miss Reen so much. Just curious, is it unlikely that we're getting the first dungeon I don't know if we could. I could imagine the first is we're gonna go to the first in 6.5. The fact that Kokaidos uses Reen's voice for one of its souls means that I think there's a good chance we'll see Reen in 6.5 in a voiced role. Whether the dungeon would be whether the dungeon would be in the first or not is anyone's guess, but we do need to collect a bunch of light ether, so we'll see.
We will see. I mean, it would be an interesting thing to see. We always, I'm sure we're always really happy for what's it.
live letter has been announced for July 30th. Well, there's a live letter before July 30th, too. There's a live letter that's going live. There's a live letter at FanFest. Who was Zalera's opposing Scion? Oh, I don't know. I'd have to pull up the list. Actually, I should sit down and memorize the opposition forces.
Oh,
If you tell me what star sign it is, I might be able to tell you what Zalera,
Crystal Chronicles was developed exclusively for Nintendo systems, wasn't it?
DS, GameCube, Wii. As far as I know, yeah. For all the ones I can think of. I wanted Reen and Gaia Adventures. I mean, they're coming. Dude, like, cross-reflection travel has not only been this setup of this entire, like patch content that I've been saying, and I've been saying this for literal years at this point, but, like, also straight up, the most recent patch was just like, yeah.
Okay, in Mario Sports Mix, you can play as Final Fantasy characters.
What the fuck is Mario Sports Mix?
It's like, it's a whole thing. It's I think it's like spun off the basketball game, the Mario basketball game. But you can play as like a Cactuar, like a white mage, a Moogle, a black mage, a ninja.
Also, Rag, Eden doesn't necessarily make sense for that because Eden can tilt the Aether. It's not necessarily about collecting the Aether, so that's how Eden's used for. The other thing is what we need is a large amount of light Aether, so actually Eden would be the opposite of what we'd want for... Because what you'd want is just to collect the Umbral Aether of the empty itself. You wouldn't want to tilt it, to re-aspect it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we have the perfect thing. Yeah, I mean, they established the whole batteries with the Aether font and all of that.
I mean, yeah, the Crystal Tower is always there if we need it. Rag, I suppose. That can collect Aether.
Yeah, but how would you Well, I guess if you can find a way to transport all that Aether into the light Aether into the Crystal Tower itself and then funnel it through the gate into the Crystal Tower of our world, that could be something. But I feel like they went out of their way to establish the existence of these battery packs that can store vast amounts of Aether. I feel like that's gonna be playing into it.
Yes.
Or so.
Yukio, if Elias...
Zalera is Gemini? Okay, then Hades. Infinite, the Scion that opposes Zalera would be Hades. Yeah, or Emet-Selch. Sorry, not Hades, Emet-Selch.
You know why I know that Zalera is Emet-Selch?
Why?
Because there's a fish that you can fish up in Middle Enosia called Zalera.
Beautiful. I only know it because of figuring out that the convocation seats match the star signs, so yes. I know some of the convocation's star signs.
Yeah, if Elias sees a fresh off the press E3 at FanFest, he will steal it and photocopy it and send it to me and to the rest of the team, and then we will...
I will likely get excommunicated from anything with Square ever.
That's true.
And it would be worth it.
We are.
Eden isn't active, not sure how good. It's only inactive if you've done Eden, though. So that's not true for everyone who's going to be doing 6.4 or 6.5, because there are going to be people who are doing 6.5 who didn't do Eden.
Yeah. But I'm sure eventually Eden will become mandatory. I
don't think so.
I think we're getting to the point where... Oh, well, maybe not actually, because it's... Because it's what's it, isn't it? It's not... It's it's a smaller group, yeah.
Raid?
Yeah.
Instead of Alliance Raid, or
no, yeah. So
yeah,
no, it's not Alliance Raid, so it could. I mean, I didn't think it will happen for some time, but I think it's possible.
Well, I mean, I was just having a discussion about making things mandatory, but one of the sorry, one moment. One of the other things about Eden is one of the difficulties is how they're gonna do Gaia, because if they want to keep Reen around, like, they're gonna keep having to create justifications for why Gaia is not there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they're gonna have to do it for Gaia, and I think as we start to look into re-aspecting and stuff like that, then I think it becomes interesting to use Eden, or to at least have Eden referenced.
You say that, Levi, but like one of the things I've been talking to a lot of different people, and multiple people are like, if I had been required to do like one more thing, it might have been enough to kick me off the game. I don't feel like it's a big ask either, but it actually is to require raid content from someone, even normal raids. For a lot of people, makes them very uncomfortable and actually feels like fuck another thing.
I feel like if you've gotten to Shadow, if you've gotten like past Endwalker particularly, you're in it. Like I feel like nothing will stop you at that point.
Maybe. I mean, but like that was people talking about a lot of like when it came to Omega, you know? So like at that point you're still 80 hours plus in.
I guess that's true. But it is before the game gets like, you know, there's that watermark where like people who are really into the game for its story and stuff, like people who came over recently from like Twitter and Tumblr and stuff, like they start to really, really fall in love with it around Shadowbringer, I think.
I mean, yes, you are correct. But also, I think they need to give or not include stuff that's optional if you want to find out guys' backstory, it's there for you. But the problem is that if you play the MSQ, and then you don't necessarily know about Eden, and then, like, you're like, wait, why is Gaia here now? Like, I think there are a lot of weaknesses that I don't think just being like, I think the fact that they go to efforts to try and make it so that even if you don't do something, you can still feel like everything makes sense is nice. Whereas if if they introduce Gaia because you go in and like, oh, this is just Gaia's friend, and they don't explain it, and then you're like, oh, and then you find out about Eden, go to Eden. It's like, wait, Gaia's here, coming in here now. Like, what? How is this? You know, they wouldn't have to do it until they get past 90, so they could do it all unsynced. Okay, I'm gonna say this flat out. I think one of the worst things that they could ever fucking do is make something mandatory and the expectation you be unsync it. So for instance, if they went and made coils mandatory right now, that would be other horse shit. Because it means that the game is expecting you to get above. And also, you unsyncing 80 at 90, you still need a party of at least 6 to 7. Like you can't just solo 80.
Well, the problem with alliance raids is that you just can't get into them unless you have at least 3 people. So you still need...
No, raids. This is a raid. This is an alliance raid.
Don't you still need 3 people to get into an alliance raid?
But we're not. But this isn't an alliance raid. We're talking about Eden, which is a raid.
Shit, never mind.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a fix. They just need to go back to the drawing board and create a normal. They have to make a normal from scratch. It's not a fix. It's a problem of like current normal is savage. And then the problem is that they already have it technically set as its normal, and there is technically a savage that exists for certain coils. Yeah.
Honestly, coil's not that bad until you get to nail. Well, I guess Twintania is kind of tough actually.
Again, there's a very large swath of people who play this game, and I have borne witness to many of them who struggle with normal raids.
Okay.
Like even just doing Rafflesia I've seen, the amount of people I've seen just like struggle with Rafflesia and that's not even, you're not even at Melusine or Nail. And also, yeah, Melusine would be people get caught at Melusine, people would be caught at Nail, people would be caught at, I mean, pretty much most of Third Coil. But
Third Coil is where it gets difficult, I would say, yeah.
Well, I mean, Third Coil is where it's difficult all the time, but you even, other than, so like, people would get their asses handed to them by, Twintania.
Yeah, Twintania.
Like, a lot of people would just...
The rest of it's not so bad.
You know.
Like, Rafflesia, I don't know. If people struggle with it, then people struggle with it, I suppose, but...
I'm just saying that, like, here's my point. I'm actually more on your guys' side than I may be making it seem. My point is saying that it's like, oh, it's just this easy thing with no negatives is, I just think, not true.
Yeah.
What do I do? Yukio, I would do the one chip challenge just for fun, let alone for a copy of E3.
The mazes, yeah, there was some annoying filler in Coil. I think there was in Alexander as well.
Yeah, Alexander has some pre-boss stuff, but like it's like, for instance, you literally have the maze and the jumping puzzle literally being their own thing. Like they're not even, like, they don't even lead into a boss.
Well,
is the elevator its own thing?
Oh god, I don't remember. I did write the whole thing on it.
Or does that lead into something?
In fairness, there is an ad boss. There's an ad fight that makes up a whole thing in Alexander as well, isn't there? With the tanks and stuff.
Yeah, A2. Rag,
Yeah.
Rag is talking about that.
Yeah, A2.
Yeah, that one.
A2 was bad.
That's the last time,
It is.
though. I'm not thinking through all the other ones. 'Cause
Yeah, I think they really learned from that. They obviously decided to cut it down. And then, like, they were like, but we can still have some. And then they were like, actually, no. they hate this.
yeah, I mean, well, they were, they were kind of copying WoW's ideas and design, and then they realized, like, wait, this isn't working.
It's
This
such a
isn't-
different game.
This isn't working. Yeah. Even nails difficulty mechanic, not HP. If you don't know what to do, yeah, like the problem's not like HP, right? It's mechanics, and the thing is that a lot of people aren't used to also mechanics that, like everything that is normal and lower will teach you how to play it. Savage and EX, part of the point is it is expecting you to figure out how to do the mechanic, like you, and so especially if you're going in with a lot of people do party finders, right? So like you're going into and what the plan is, or looking up guides preemptively. Imagine going into into what is effectively a savage just normally, and you don't know all of this, and also you're level 50 and you're relatively new to the game, and you're yeah, the only solution that will fix coils for normal people being able to do it and not people just having to unsync it retroactively is them creating a normal mode.
Yeah, I mean the problem is Nail is even at level 90, Nail is hard unsynced. He is doable. I've heard people say he's not. He is doable, but it's very difficult. You have to be really on top.
Well, you have to
of it.
bring. Their only specific jobs can solo it.
Yeah, Paladin can solo it, so I sold it on Paladin. Wait, did I say? Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this. I am of the opinion that if something is mandatory, it has to be mandatory in 8 people going in blind, who are of very average skill level. Like it can't be unsynced isn't a solution, and get good scrub is not a solution.
Yeah. No, definitely. Not for this MMO. For other MMOs, yes. For this one, no.
I don't think they want to do 8-man trusts if they don't have to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they want to avoid 8-man trusts for a couple reasons.
They're probably extremely difficult to balance.
They're very difficult to program, according to them, and the systems to do so. They would basically have to recreate multiple of the fights to have mechanics that actually could work with trust. Like, one of the reasons the Hydaelyn is the way Hydaelyn is as a fight, or EX2 is the way it is as a fight, is because they had to basically create it around the trust system. Now, the other thing, and this is a minor thing that they could easily get around, but I was going to say is that you'd have to have enough scions and people around to do it. So, for instance, in Eden, who are the people? But then again, we're still able to get adventurers who join you, or you also use the magics of Azem. Like, it's easy enough to justify. It's not, like, I don't think that would stop them.
Yeah.
Like, you just go into...
I think...
The trust would be, like, Eorzean, Reen...
Yeah, Eorzean, Reen, Thancred...
4 Crystarian people or whatever.
Yeah, Lena... You could figure it out. I mean, you could even, summon Ardbert if you want, like, if you really wanted to stretch it out a little bit.
I mean, Ardbert would be gone at that time. He'd be in your soul.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, is you could sort of, like... You could figure some sort of soul-wally stuff out there with that.
I think that might be stretching it. I think once he's a part of you, he's a part of you, as far as we understand it.
He's my special boy, though.
Like, that boy full Roxist into, although I guess Kingdom Hearts still undid that.
Yeah, exactly.
If we had 8-person trust against Zeramis with FF4, I would lose my mind. There's almost no chance that would happen, but if it did, it would be great. Yeah, I'm of torn mind. I'm of torn mind because I think people having to do trials together, I think, is generally a good thing, unless it's really for payoff. But then again, like, the Scions fighting together against it for a hype moment, yeah. I think one big problem of trust systems is that it really restricts the kind of mechanics they can do. And so I think the fight design gets even further limited because of it. And I'm apprehensive about that.
Levi. So Ardbit's presence makes itself somewhat known to Seto. So that's sort of what I'd run with there.
Well, no, so Seto closes his eyes and can see and feel Ardbert in your soul. That's different than him being able to like excise himself as an entity that can cause things upon the world. Like literally, we are standing in his place, right? We are like channeling him, but that he's not a separate entity in that moment. That's why we have Seto close his eyes. Yeah, trouble with Eden and Trust is that the last set takes place after Scion's left, right? Which look, I mean, you could still use the magic because of the Zem, right? Like that would be a solution.
Oh, Infinite. What was that? Was that Nighthold that you're talking about?
It was his voice instead of his imagination. Yeah. If you picnic outing with NPC or NPCs of your choice, who would the NPC be? And I don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh. You ask me these questions as if like I don't. I don't have favorites like that. I don't.
Yeah, but who would be the most fun at a picnic?
Who'd be the most fun at a picnic? Yeah, probably.
I guess I'd take like some
the thing
hearty, like European pies and stuff for Tataru.
I feel like the thing is people are underestimating too the amount that Scions are also more fun because of their interplay with each other. So for instance, Alice and Alphino playing off of each other, or Kryle making fun of Estinian, or like any one of them alone is not as fun as like the answer is I would just want to go out on a picnic with the Scion group because that would be the most fun.
Yeah.
We know Graha can make a picnic basket. Yeah. Dude, we're going to Corvos, man. So like the amount of times that Corvos, Locust, and Menos kept getting mentioned, like not even from like during the Garlean section, but the rest of the game throughout, and how the final days was affecting it was wild.
Yes, pretty much constantly.
I think that letter is going to take us to Corvos. That or Mericidia. I think it's going to be an invitation from someone. And especially based on who was noticing it and who's been teaming up, and Graha and the G Tribe and all of that.
Yeah, definitely going there to see the G Tribe. We're going there. We're going to like this game beat us around the head with beat us around the head with it. Just constantly the whole expansion. Well, the whole base game. I don't want to say beat it. It wasn't obnoxious, but you know what I mean.
I was more about maybe like that scene from Memoria Miserian normal, but manifestations are real. Well, that's a memory, so that's kind of a weird case. I still remember WoW locked an important piece of lore behind Mythic. Lordy. I mean, again, I say that, but effectively, and it like 14 has done something worse. Effectively, all of Coils is locked behind Savage.
Kind of, yeah.
You know. And while the unsyncing mechanic works, if you wanted to play things in order, you're probably not going to be level 90 or 80.
No.
While you're still going through ARR, unless you're like going really slow and doing leveling roulette each day.
Infinite, I would say.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Infinite. That's just like a feature of WoW's Mythic mode. So for their raids, for their like end game raids, it's just that's something they do.
Not a bad one.
Yeah, not a good one. But it's so characteristic of WoW. It would never work in 14, but of WoW, it's
Well, there's just less story emphasis in that game.
Yeah.
Like, there's just a large swath of the population who plays it is willing to just play it for the mechanical. Which I don't say as a negative. I just like as a reality.
Yeah.
Imagine the entire G Tribe being an entire Warrior of Light fan club tribe. I
kind of hate that idea.
Yeah. Me too. But they, especially with like their responsibility as custodians to the Allegan and stuff.
I would like to see them like dog on Graha for being a fanboy, actually.
Yeah. I say what forces to enjoy the picnic is we don't eat enough and she's annoyed for us not taking care of ourselves. The letter is from someone in Corvos and they want us to go to Mericidia or something like that. Yeah. That's the ultimate. Then we get both 2 in 1. But it's definitely going to be invitation to one of those two places. There's a Missouri area normal. Well, so when you go in, when you do the Bosnia stuff the first time, you go into Sid's memory and you do effectively what counts as Memoria Missouri normal in fighting him, in doing that fight as a duty.
Yeah, so they provide, a narrative sense for it. It's not a normal of Memoria Misera, but it fills the narrative gap that would otherwise. I don't even think there was a gap.
You get to experience a normal.
Yeah, basically.
Like, hell, even if they didn't make a normal coils, but they just made, like, a set of duties that took you through effectively doing coils and getting all the cutscenes, that'd be enough. But they really should do something, because the problem with coils is that, like, not only is it important in terms of, like, okay, Alisaie setup, not only important in terms of, like, it being the culmination kind of 1.0 and 2.0, but, like, it's hyper relevant to Endwalker.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Alisaie's whole character arc is, set up by Coil. So the fact that it's not... I've met people who are like, who genuinely do not know what Alisaie was doing while she was gone for all those expansions.
Yeah, and then in the... you don't get Louis Sua's legacy and, like, kind of how that matters for Fortunal and for the twins, and also all the stuff about the ways in which Dalamud's structure is used for certain things at certain points in the story, like...
we do have... I did do a Coils stuff on the website. The lore of the bosses and the etymologies and stuff, they are discussed on the website for Coils. If you're missing that, then go ahead.
Definitely check that out. We also have a recap of all the information that you need to know from them.
That's also true.
No, I am not doing a Coils archive. You can't make me. Okay, Ray. We won't.
Yukio, how do I feel about WoW's story? WoW's story for me ended at Legion, and there was still a little bit of stuff in BFA that was badly done anyway. The storylines that mattered to me ended there. I cared about the Crusade. I cared about I cared about the Legion, I cared about the Scourge, and I cared about the Old Gods. And they were all done after Legion, except for a little bit of the Old God stuff. So, Shadowlands I didn't care about, and then I'm not giving them any more money after everything that came out about Blizzards.
I have not paid attention very deeply or in any meaningful way to the story since Wrath of the Lich King. So, and for me, that tale is... While not clearly the tale that ends the story of the world, it is like the tale that ends kind of like the story. Like, that whole tragedy is I was good.
Yeah, it's one of the big three, one of the big three stories, and then obviously the Legion is wrapped up in Legion, and the Old Gods are technically kind of wrapped up in BFA, but it was extremely poorly done.
I didn't for a long time, yeah. Sadly, whenever they do bare teeth, they go try hard edge and ruin everything with making things horrible for no reason, yeah. I need to do Coils for one of these days. Light, if you wanted to watch, we have a recap video if you want to watch that. We also have a meme recap version if you want to watch that. Or you can ask, if you do looking for group, you literally only need one other level 90 person unsynced, and you'd be able to run through the whole thing. I'm sure at least one other person would be willing to help you.
Yeah.
I missed out on Alisaie until I was late. I did Coils mostly solo at 90. Right, exactly. Which is like, yes, you can do it that way, right, Ray? But like expecting people like, oh, we'll just do it later when you're at 90 isn't a solution for most people, especially when it would be a lot more powerful if they experienced it earlier. Legion definitely deserved to be the final expansion of WoW. It was amazing and ended the important story, and we all had artifacts. The whole go out on a high thing, yeah. WoW story is a big bad, was actually just a setup for even bigger bad next expansion, rinse and repeat.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I'll confess, because I didn't do Coils, I managed to forget about Alisaie's existence when Alfino mentioned his sister in Heavensward. I was genuinely surprised. I was like, I want to see her.
That's good.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
But like, you only see her for like a couple cutscenes at the beginning of A Realm Reborn, and then you don't see a hide her hair, like nothing until 3. Is she not 3.4, right? Did she pop up in 3.3, or is it 3.4 when she first pops up?
No, I think it is 3.4, isn't it? Yeah.
No.
No, it's right before, isn't it? It's like the beginning of that patch.
I know she's in that patch, but I'm trying to think. That's the same? Is 3.4 when we get Gaboo? Or is that 3.2 and like it's a side tangent from the Ishgardian stuff?
Yeah, I think so, right? Isn't it? Yeah.
I can't.
It's been a
Someone will
while
correct me
since
in
I've
a
done that
second.
content. Hey, you did that content recently. Well,
I know. Wow. Okay.
not recently anymore.
6+ months ago. I will confess because I was Night Elf, so BFA ruined the game for me. My race becoming Kick Dog trope. Yeah. Coil's Dark Sword is a good glam at least. Can't say much for the rest of the weapons. I mean, it depends on what is. If you like elegant aesthetic, they're good options. I don't care if it's spoilers since the cutscene is basically Nordal would say it was from the Dark Future Power of Friendship in Neri. That was when WoW died from you. Definitely doing coils when I did was totally my choice. Yeah. It's kind of funny. The middle part of coils was the hardest part for me. The last one was pretty easy. Not complaining. Made farming Dreadworm easy. Yeah. Nail has the most mechanics that even when unsynced can cause fuckery. The main thing you kind of have to worry about with Bahamut is his dive bomb. Frankly, the only thing you need to really worry about for any of the bosses is, like, for Twintania would be Twintania's dive bombs, but you can still get through that quickly. Nail, because Nail has locked phases, has parts where you kind of still have to do things.
Yeah, if you don't finish the golems
Bahamut,
right on Nail, then you'll just die.
Right, and like the ad phase Bahamut is nothing if you're unsynced, and then like the dive bombs aren't that bad. So yeah, Nail is definitely the hardest.
Yeah, Twintania can be very awkward to do, but it's not necessarily difficult, even solo.
Yeah. Much like Frank Sinatra's song, Ali Say did it her way. The power of friendship works with Final Fantasy. We pray ourselves out of a situation like the end of FF4 we just saw, but WoW is meant to be Western and not friendship power. I don't think... I would disagree that power of friendship is Western versus Eastern thing. I actually think that it is a trope that absolutely exists in Western canon, and I think 14 actually has shown that it can do it poorly. Like, I think what happens at the end of ARR is done pretty poorly. I think it is power of friendship in a more eye-rolly way than in a satisfactory way. But then I think later stories...
What specifically?
So remember when we free Thancred of La Habrea and everyone shows up and it's like their spirits all are there for a second. It's like basically the power of friendship, ha! And then they all like crash through La Habrea and somehow magically free Thancred.
I do remember that. That was I haven't thought about
it's
that. It's
weird
in a
and
long time.
Yeah. I think 14 has also shown the power of bonds, right? Like through Endwalker and Shadowbringers, like the powers that like the connections that bind us. But I think like the power of friendship versus the power of bonds are like the difference between a good trope and a bad trope.
I think there's a lot of angles there that you can take. We've already seen that 3 and 4 have both done it as well. 4 did it a little better than 3, not like massively better, but I think meaningfully so. You know, it didn't feel like quite so much a slap in the face with certain characters just coming back from the death immediately. This game has done some of that with like Palam and Parham, and they felt sort of lampshaded to come back anyway. But like Sid has died like 8 times in this game.
Yeah, I think the thing I will say in the game's defense is because it emphasized characters over jobs or anything, and it has had specific defined characters, it working its way to... I won't say much, just it earns that moment, but it feels like the narrative was built towards having a moment like that, even if that moment is kind of like, cheesy or not even, or just like not. Like, I'm not screaming fuck yeah as Palam and Parlorum are like, hear our prayers!
Yeah, it's, the prayer scene is very... Like, it really does call to mind that scene in 3, where, like, the spirits of Dash and the 2 sages and, like, a bunch of other people arrive and they're, like, empowering you against the final boss. It's the same beat, but it's a little bit better done. Levi wants to know if you're going to do a 16 sort of discussion stream after you finish with it.
I mean, we finished it. I finished it. I mean, we can. I don't know how many people are actually interested in that. I mean, like, most people weren't even watching 16 plays because they didn't want spoilers. And so, like, the problem is that hosting that and having, like, 2 people there would be less fun. I mean, we could potentially host it in the Discord. We could just do, like, have a conversation about it. But, yeah.
Aetioscope.
I do have thoughts.
Yeah, but Aetioscope sort of
Dungeon...
abstracts it, to be honest.
there's a big again, that's the power of bonds versus the power of friendship. Like a story going out of its way to build up connections to people and then have a moment of those connections matter in a way that's not only been built up metaphysically specifically, but also in a like character dynamic and interactions and bonds way. Like for instance, Ysayle and Porchafont in 3.3, how being present works, even though because it's not like Huya, the power of friendship, has saved us from Nidhogg. It's the connection, like whether literal or figurative, the connection to these people lights our way. And I think there's like how you execute it matters, and the build up to the execution matters.
I think it's the thing that matters the most, to be honest.
Yeah. I couldn't watch your 16 play, so now that I'm done with it, I just want to know your thoughts. Yeah, I really like, so just like as just a general overview, really liked 16. Adored its combat system. I think one of its major problems is that it is lacking in enemy variety. And I didn't feel as emotionally connected to it as I did to some other Final Fantasies. Not for lack of quality or for character writing, which were all excellent, but there was, I don't know if it was due to groundedness or its attempts to kind of evoke a certain amount of realism or a lack of sort of idiosyncrasy, but there was a less of an emphasis on some of the idiosyncrasies and charm that I think some Final Fantasy have, that I think was very intentional and very much to specific effect, but I cared the whole way through. I cared at every step, but I did not feel as emotionally connected to it as I did to some other Final Fantasies. And it's not for lack of quality on its part. In 15, didn't they have a brotherhood as a power, or is it different? I mean, it's not really brotherhood as power. It's more just it's not. Like his three bros don't magically come in at the very end and save him via the power of friendship. It's more his friends stand by him to the very end. You know, as far as they can, up until his final stand against what's his face. The reason why the power of bonds of yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just trying to think of who what's his face was.
Emmett Selk Light, Mr. Cap and Mr.
Oh yeah. The DLC guy. Well,
Aaron.
Not Arenvald.
No.
Aaron.
The main bad guy.
Yeah. No, I know exactly who you mean.
Yeah. Power of friendship in WoW is so powerful. I watched 3 guilds disband in a row every time I returned into the game during 1 year, not just kicking me for inactivity. Fully disbanded.
Arden.
Lordy. Arden. There we go. I'm looking forward to giving 15 another go at some point.
Yeah, me too, actually. Me too.
Friendship or bonds are as a motive to preserve is valid at least, but power of friendship, that doesn't seem palatable. Isn't the power of bonds actually a thing for Azem and the Warrior of Light? Yes, but that's my point. They made the power of connection and like a textual part of what it means to be Azem and the Warrior of Light and our connection to others in a way that's not just, oh, look, don't we aren't like power of friendship, but like the bonds that tie us are kind of everything. And when that's like one of your fundamental themes and statements that you're interacting with over the course of multiple expansions, it means a lot more when you try to pay that off rather than just pay lip service to isn't it great to have friends?
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to think of much media that doesn't have some theme of friendship in it, but the theme of friendship is very different from power of friendship.
Yeah. Is 16 a one-person party game? Well, technically you have Torgal the whole way through, and then you also intermittently have different people, a different person in your party, but you're only ever worrying about Clive. And no, actually, so for me, a full party would have decreased my feeling on that, not increased it. Because one of the things I appreciated is having only Clive to worry about meant I was focused on Clive. And I think actually the game actually takes a lot of effort to go out of its way to develop its side characters. It goes out of its way to develop, for those of you who played it, Otto and Gav and Byron and Jill and And I think whether or not those characters work for you as is a different question, but I think the game does try very hard to have its background characters developed. And very, very thoroughly. To me, I have never seen the party as a fundamental part of Final Fantasy. I recognize that it kind of effectively is, right, across the board. Like, you know, 1 in choosing your 4 characters, 2 in the characters that you have, 3 in having the 4 adventures that are starting out, this in the party that you have is constantly part of it. I mean, on and on and on and on, right, for the vast majority of it. But, like, that has never in my cognition been one of the things that I immediately go to in terms of, like, yeah, that's what defines Final Fantasy. Because, like, the party to me is just a general JRPG thing.
I mean, that's true, but the fact that it's generalized across the genre to me doesn't mean that it's any less integral to Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely fair. So, like, what I'm arguing is not that it's not integral, it's more in my thinking of it in the past, I have not thought about it as being integral.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, you have party members who follow you, can't control them anyways. Yeah, and the combat works a lot better. Like, if you had to control them, it would be too much. Like, even just having to control Torgal is already, like, an added layer. Which you do have control over Torgal. Yeah. Honestly, in some ways, 16 has my favorite party members in years. Yeah. I think the mileage that... I think the thing is that 16's style and the way it goes about what it's doing is going to work more or less for certain people, for sure. I think there's one thing I can say emphatically is that 16 is a quality-ass game. And I think its failings are more fascinating, and I think are also more your mileage is going to vary hardcore on it. And what you want out of a JRPG and a Final Fantasy game. I will say the Fallen are markedly less interesting than Alag, which makes me sad.
Oh, that's interesting. I've heard such
Night,
good
Yukio.
things about it, though. Good night, Yukio.
Of 16 in general?
Yeah. Oh,
What are we doing on levels?
So I was watching a
pretty good.
Let's Play the other day, and one of the people on it was talking about how, like, they were ranting about how, like, Game of Thrones ruined its franchise and stuff in the final season.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, and then another series I love, Final Fantasy VII was ruined, and I was like, please don't mean remake, because remake was good.
Yeah, remake is a much... Remake. If you take away remakes from one fundamental problem of the fact that it's not a remake, remake is just inarguably a better written version of Final Fantasy VII as far as I'm considered.
Yeah, it's vastly better.
I mean, clearly you can't argue, right? But I'm sure some people do feel it, but, like, remake is probably one of the best written Final Fantasy things. Like, in terms of, like, characters and how they're written and performed is like, by far one of the best things that Square's ever done.
It's also got some really great side content, I think. Some really charming stuff in there. I know nothing about 16 anyway, besides some basic stuff that we knew before the game came out, so I'm just watching chat like, I agree, yes.
I think you'll like it.
Okay. Is it in your top 5 Final Fantasy games?
Is it in my top 5? Okay, it's above 1 through 5, probably. I need to replay 6 before I know. It's above original 7, for sure.
Okay.
Above 8, above 9. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yes. Yes, it's definitely my top 5.
Alright, that's good. That's encouraging.
If we're talking about mainline and not including any spin-off. Even if we include spin-offs, it probably would be, but... Do characters like Otto, Isabel, or Martha seem under-designed for just an art perspective? Oh, yeah, Levi, I totally know what you mean. I think the game is very understated in a number of ways, and the fact that those characters don't stick out as harshly because of, like, they don't have vibrant colors or they're... Yes, I know exactly what you mean. And I'm torn because I definitely feel that way, but I also feel like that's because of the aesthetic of the game as a whole. But I feel like they succeeded wildly with, like, Jill and Clive's designs and making them feel both of that world and slightly understated while also being unique I think part of it comes from the fact that we're so used to seeing stuff being so over designed too in Final Fantasy games. So like when things are kind of understated, it's jarring.
I haven't seen much of the designs outside of the stuff they broadcast. Obviously, I think Clive's design is pretty effective though.
Clive and Jill's designs are, I think, Clive, Jill, and Sid's designs, I think, are some of the strongest examples of like stand out while also fitting in. But there are a lot of other outfits that you're like, this could have just been in Witcher and no one would have known.
They put Clive's sword in the Tower of London, which is interesting, which is very cool too.
Yes, I saw that. To be honest, Torgold's combat system reminds me of an old weapon concept from Monster Hunter, the Hunting Hound, similar to the Insectblade, but later reapers for Palamute. Yeah. Definitely. The gearing system, it's interesting you say that. Like, I don't think the gearing system's a bad system, Levi. I think the problem is it's just exceedingly boring when it comes to the weapons. It's just linear. I mean, look, if you want to say, like, at some point, like, they're just, why even bother including any weapons or armor? Because there's, like, it's just linear. Then yeah, I'd be with you. But I'd also point out that that's absolutely, completely the case with every Final Fantasy me and Aniri have played thus far. Like 1 through 4, there have almost been no interesting choices when it comes to actually equipping yourself.
I feel like so often this is held up, like linear gear isn't a good thing, but it's hard to think of examples of non-linear gear. Like MMOs are linear. WoW has been linear since vanilla, where there was that one time where a dungeon dagger was better than any other dagger. 14 is mostly linear. You know, this you get like 2 choices basically.
Well, but while you're, so for instance, while you're leveling as a paladin in WoW, right? Let's say in vanilla, the difference between choosing a two-handed versus single swords, and then like, okay, do I want to use one with the best attack speed? Also, availability of equipment in it is so different because you have to actually like either do dungeons or do things to get access. That like there's some there's some actual zest in terms of at least like not everything's easily available.
Yeah.
And while that's kind of true here, that's really not that true except for like the final weapons.
I think that's something that 7 Remake did quite well was non-linearity, because each one.
Why craft them? I mean, the fact that they were crafted was something I really loved, because I would much rather craft them. Buying them is the most boring thing in the world. I do not like, if you have a game where it's going to be linear equipment and I buy it, I'd just rather not have it, because it's not.
So like 13.
Whereas crafting, at least you have to go. Right. At least crafting, you have to go find materials, right? Or you have to go kill a hunt, or you have, like you have to go kill a mark, or, at least you have to do something,
AC, you're gonna cause a fight in this chat if you say that.
Has FF always had a spirit of isekai in its DNA? No, because
in what way?
None of the 4 games we have played so far are an isekai. Like everyone has been of the world.
I'm a little confused. Yeah, I don't know exactly what you mean by that.
Okay, what is the one that you can argue is the most isekai? I think the one you could argue probably most is 10.
Isn't
right?
Stranger Paradise like kind of isekai?
Yeah, okay, Stranger Paradise definitely. I was thinking mainline. Stranger Paradise I think is one where you totally could make it more interesting.
10 is
I
isekai,
would call
but like so removed from isekai in every way.
Right, like, because it's really more a time travel or stranger in a strange land or blah blah blah. I've made all that point before, but like I respect that you can make the point that it is someone removed from their normal environment and thrown into a strange new world with special either capabilities or awareness based on that fact. But like, yeah.
So I really
it's
do
more that
like
modern East
7 Remakes gear system. I like the fact that each weapon can be leveled up and can be viable in different ways.
Well, that's the other thing, right? Is like just make it so that, okay, maybe even there are some benefits to using one thing over another, because there's like some that have more physical or magic, but that using every single one and leveling it up gives you something, right? Then at least you're making some kind of choice or earning something. Whereas like if it's linearity, I guess in and of itself isn't the problem, but if there's no like aspects to that provide something interesting, kind of what's the point?
Exactly.
I mean, here's one from a design standpoint. One thing that is beneficial for it is that you end up in a situation where, as a game designer, you can up the level of, like, you can more just like make the level of monsters more distinctly upped per section, and you can allow the curve to be changed a bit by giving people a new weapon, which is, like, from a design standpoint useful, but from a playing standpoint is just utterly uninteresting.
Yeah. Rag, 13. Yeah, 13 is fish out of water, but it's not isekai. That's such a different.
But you don't hit
thing.
Cocoon until the final third of the game.
It's.
You spend You spend 2/3 of the game in Cocoon, and then you go down there. It's more like that would be like saying us going to Othard makes Stormblood an isekai.
The whole. Yeah. So if being in a place that your character is not used to is isekai, then almost every piece of media ever made is an isekai.
Is Lord of the Rings an isekai because Frodo leaves the Shire?
Yes. Dissidia, yeah, I guess Dissidia has isekai stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost weird. It's almost like a different trope of, like, the heroes pulled from throughout time to face each other in combat. It's like almost its own genre.
It depends on how hard you want to stretch the definition of isekai, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's more modern. That modern isekai genre takes a huge amount from Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. Yeah, and just like general JRPG iconography and imagery and shonen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also like the back and forth between shonen anime and Japanese video games, like especially the JRPG genre. Dissidia, Mobius, stuff like that. Not saying it's under. I don't know Mobius as well, but like that. Again, I'm talking about the main line. And also, those games are much more recent. Like, most of the games you're describing are within the past decade, whereas this series has existed since the 80s.
Right,
13
you did
does
know
make
what
new
isekai
worlds.
is. You're just trolling us out here.
To be fair, I have no idea what it says. I'm just trying.
Isekai is essentially a person in another world that they don't belong in. So it's like you step out of your bedroom and you get hit by a truck, and then you wake up as like a fantasy blacksmith or something, and you have to make big.
Mare would be an
swords.
isekai, like a manga or anime example. Like Mare would be one.
Yeah.
Right. If you are taken from the world you know and understand and transported to a world of like a completely different context, not just like physically go to a different continent or travel, but like,
well, yeah, and it's not just a world where it's different and it's new, so it wouldn't just be being taken to like it would be a world where the laws of physics are different in significant ways.
And typically, unless it's trying to specifically subvert it, part of what it also meant to be an isekai is that the person teleported had some particular gift or power within this new world, whether it just be their awareness of the world, or like their capacity for awareness, or a literal or unique magical power. Like, I guess in a way you could argue that Gwenpool got isekai'd.
Yeah, okay, a little bit, yeah.
Marvel character. Well, because I think about it, she's from the real world, so she understands comic and all their genres and uses her like awareness of. She's taken into this whole world with different rules, but her genre awareness basically gives her magic powers.
Yeah. Oh, so Rag, the problem is that Terra doesn't have notably different rules than the world of FF9. Like, you can still use magic. The combat works the same. This is like, yes, there is certain.
What we're saying is that Neil Armstrong did not get isekai'd when he went to the moon.
Yeah, it's stuff where you step into a world, like, say you're just a random salaryman, and you step into a world that has magic and monsters and stuff like that. Or, I suppose but the problem is isekai is becoming such a broad genre that, like, increasingly
I think the thing is we have to agree on what it means as a term before we start applying it to anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I got transported into an RPG game that has about 8 billion different interpretations now, and they all have really long, annoying titles. I'm not a fan of the isekai sort of golden age, if you want to call it that. And yes,
I mean, it kind of is, isn't it?
yeah, the dark age for me. Yeah, Forspoken is an isekai. Forspoken is absolutely an isekai.
Forspoken 100% an isekai, like very like classic example almost.
Yeah.
Reborn as a vending machine, I now wander the dungeon. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna lie. When the long titles first came out, I thought they were very funny and I enjoyed them. It is now a plague.
Isn't there? There's that one where the whole manga is a title, like all the dialogue and stuff is like part of a title.
What?
Which I guess is funny because it's taking the piss out of it, so that makes it funny.
I mean that is taking it so far that it cannot be taken any further.
Yeah.
I do have to appreciate that. Like we the natural.
Yeah. Once you've extended it to that point.
A golden shower age.
Yes, I've seen the Reborn as the vending machine. I've seen like a clip of it, and it is horny. The vending machine does get like a hand reached into him by a sexy, strong lady. Yeah, Forspoken's not very well. Not very good. Forspoken maybe isn't as bad as people say it is, but it's very awkwardly written. The dialogue you're writing is not very good.
Yes. Forspoken is not nearly as bad as it portrayed to be. A. B. Luminous being shut down is not so much just because of Forspoken being bad. There's a couple things going on there. One of which was their complications and the nightmare development that they did around 15 and the ways in which they like were not effective or great at that. The way in which they were struggling with development as well with Forspoken even after that and not necessarily being great on deadlines. And then Forspoken actually performing mediocrely okay, but Square Enix's expectations being constantly meteoric and like insanely high. So unless Forspoken was like a slam frickin' dunk, they were kind of always a little bit doomed. It wasn't just Forspoken closed Luminous in and of itself. There were steps to getting here for sure. Sarah, good to see you, glad to have you.
It doesn't help that they had the excuse of building an engine with 15, but then they used the 15 engine for Forspoken was still like particularly bad in their development practices. So it was like at that point you just don't have an excuse.
Yeah. Look, I mean, like I agree that I think shuttering it made sense. I just think like if anyone's like, oh, it's because it was shuttered because Forspoken's so bad, I feel like it ignores the like wider context.
Yeah.
What was the last thing that like there have been multiple things that Square Enix has been, oh, like for instance, this is different. There's like a whole bunch of other things going on here, but like with Hitman, it sold incredibly well, like, and it was just below expectations. Or the Tomb Raiders sold incredibly well below their expectations. Like 14 as an MMO does gangbusters and is basically just kind of like, okay, they're doing good. Instead of like, this is our glory be, praise hallelujah.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on. I mean, we all remember the NFT stuff going on with Square Enix. That was
fascinating.
Thing. Yeah. I mean, at least they're giving Hitman like credit now. That at least they're developing more stuff. They're putting more resources in Hitman now.
No, because they sold Hitman. They don't own it.
Wait, really?
They sold the studio. Yeah, they don't own Eidos or any of that.
Oh, okay. Well, at least the studio's doing cool stuff with it.
Oh yeah. They've now got like James Bond license. They're doing a bunch of cool stuff, but they got completely sold off by Square Enix because they were underperforming from their standpoint.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they just made that Hitman roguelike, which is a cool concept. I mean, like it's entirely reused assets, but it's a really cool concept.
I am very interested to see what their James Bond game ends up being like.
They're a good choice to do a James Bond game. They really are. Oh, Rag says, yeah, Rag has a good idea. We should make our way up to a hard save point in case the quick saves break, and then we lose all this grinding.
That is a good idea. However, the problem is I can only quick save. But okay, yeah, that'll be fine. I forgot that quick save basically is fine as long as I don't close the game. Okay, we're gonna get, my thinking is we're gonna get at least Edge to 70, and then, because he's stuck on 69, nice. And then we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, let's go. We may as well.
The isekai discussion needs to really separate the general isekai genre from modern isekai trope of being reborn in another world as power fantasy. I mean, I'm not what would you describe as that isn't that is isekai?
Like, I think power fantasy's always been a part of isekai, or escapism. It's usually one of the two.
And usually both.
Yeah, often.
I'm actually. What is considered the earliest modern one?
earliest
To include
modern
Harika,
isekai.
Warrior from Another World, still that. Superbook. Okay, let's.
That's modern isekai.
It revolves around a displaced person or people who are transported to and have to survive in another world, such as a fantasy world, virtual world, a parallel universe. That's kind of the main thing. Characteristics. The genre can be divided into two types: transition into another world and reincarnation into another world. I would argue that while that delineation is important for like subgenres, that those are still effectively.
They feel mostly arbitrary to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I will recognize that there's different tropes that come along with like being reborn into versus being teleported to, because like one is more about a lot of times finding a way home is an aspect of transition to another world, but sent to a truck. A common method of death is being run over by a truck, dying, spawning the meme truck-kun.
Yeah.
In many examples, the main character is an ordinary person who thrives in their new environment. And that's what I would put it. It's like they're an ordinary person in the normal world and then thrive in their new environment beyond the normal capacity that they would have ever shown in the normal world. Yeah, and their new environment, thanks to modern things in the real world being seen as extraordinary in the other world.
Oh, you know what might have started that? I think it came a little bit before, but I think the thing that actually inspired the trend of isekai as they are now is probably Sword Art Online.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was definitely what popularized it. It, like, began the new wave of it in the past decade or so.
There are tens and tens and tens of isekai that predate it, but I feel like a lot of the stuff that you see in modern isekai comes from Sword Art Online.
The genre as a whole has existed at least since the 80s, I know for sure.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, the modern wave, I feel like we got a new resurgence of it starting with that.
Yeah.
Plenty of good examples before that time, too. Yolinos, good to see you, glad to have you. Lolly meow, lolly ho to you. Land of the Lost, like something like Phantom Hourglass or Divine. See, Phantom Hourglass to me is different because, like, I understand what you're saying that you're teleported to a different place, but, like, Link's capacity isn't really any different than if you had been in the Great Seas in Wind Waker, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider Phantom Hourglass an isekai because it's not really another world. It's just a different part. It's just a different place. You know?
Rag, I would say Sword Art Online has a weird delineation where the first few episodes are actually pretty good, and then it just crashes. And the problem is that Sword Art Online's fan base is absolutely horrendous.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean Phantom Hourglass. I meant Phantom Tollbooth. Oh, okay. A little bit different. Yeah. From what I heard, Star Wars is meant to be bad. No. Anything with the amount of effort and time put into things like that, like, unless it's like it isn't, especially at least the first 6 episodes of that show are just played completely straight as what it is for its genre. Like, it's not subverting anything really. It's just kind of playing what it is straight.
And it works a lot better than what it ends up being.
Yeah. Phantom Hour.
I saw something saying that Digimon is usually an isekai. I was like, wait, no. Oh, wait, it kind of is actually.
No, yeah. Digimon, yeah. I would definitely say the transportation into the digital world and the Digidestined, their like specific humanity giving them. Yeah, I would absolutely call. And I would say what season 3 or season 4 is like the most isekai of them all.
Yeah, it's definitely an isekai. Although actually, Ghost Game isn't an isekai, but the more recent one isn't. It takes place in the real world.
Yeah. I think what's interesting with Digimon is because it phases the digital world into the real world. It's like the original anime, like the movies, weirdly enough, in some ways aren't. Because it's more the intrusion of the digital world into the real world.
Yes. And that's very much what Ghost Game is.
Right. And like Summer Wars isn't an isekai because it's all in the real world. It's just engaging in the digital world through an interface and through a medium.
Yeah, basically.
Dude, Summer Wars is a great movie. That's like if you want to introduce someone to anime, like who's like wary about anime, I feel like a great like anime film to start with is Summer Wars.
Summer Wars.
Isn't Agumon literally a digital world diplomat in the UN?
I mean, I would believe it, to be honest.
That's amazing. Summer Wars is so underrated. Yeah, it's just a really solid film. Although everything from that studio is great. They did also like The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, and like they've done a lot of stuff. I think they did The Girl Who Leapt Through Time as well. Or if they didn't, the studio that did do Girl Who Leapt Through Time is amazing.
Oh, I had a good bagel today.
A beautiful non sequitur.
Oh,
Would you
yeah.
love to tell me of your bagel?
Yes, I would like to say about the bagel. So it had like pan-fried spam, like a musubi style spam. It had like peanut butter, chunky peanut butter. It had a hash brown and it had a fried egg. And it was actually really good. It was on an everything bagel.
That's a bit much for my palate, but I will take your word for it.
It was definitely good.
I mean, like a hash brown and an egg with an everything bagel sounds delicious, but the peanut butter and spam I could do without.
It worked.
Rack, that's not a bagel.
It was on a bagel. Is Shadowbringers
Don't you
an
dare
isekai?
fucking troll me.
No, because it functions
Don't you
on the
do it,
same
Infinite.
principles.
No. Yeah. Okay, you know what? I have spent so much time saying how I don't think Shadowbringers is an isekai. I want to stand here for a second and then stand in defense of some reasons why you could, right? We are teleported to another reflection. I would argue that that's more similar, basically like another continent. However, that's still transdimensional, and it is a different place, right? Our specific capacity as the Warrior of Light to be able to hold in the light within us is a unique power. However, I would argue that that's not a power that's due to mundanity or anything. It is a power that is just a byproduct of...
We have that power in the original world.
Right. We're not given anything unique by being in this new realm necessarily. Like it's not. It is we're someone powerful from somewhere else. There are reasons why I can see people saying it's an isekai, but I think that in order to do that, you have to say that anything that's teleportation to a strange new world is an isekai, and I don't agree with that. I rest my case.
No, it was like Rag. It wasn't it wasn't like a Western fried egg. It was like an Eastern fried egg. Like it was like.
What the fuck is an Eastern fried egg?
No, like Eastern style. It was more cooked. It's not quite so light. So the yolk wasn't leaking everywhere, although the peanut butter was.
Wait. Sorry. Eastern fried, it's less fried or more fried?
More fried.
Ugh, why would you want the yolk. You want it to be a little bit runny.
I find that to be more of a thing in the UK than it is here.
It's very much a thing in the US. Is John Carter of Mars the first isekai?
Oh god. Oh.
Interesting question.
Maybe a little bit.
I think there's an argument there. When did the original story come out? Is that the turn of the 20th? Is that 19th or 20th century?
Isn't it like the 1920s? No, it's before that, isn't it? But not much before that.
Gulliver's Travels? No, because he's just traveling somewhere, right? Like that's an adventure story. That's different than any. Just traveling somewhere is not an isekai. Does not make.
In fairness, if you really want to go like hard on tracing back isekai, then like there are fairy tales that are isekai that are like very, very old.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't Dev stated in one of the interview that the reflections are similar to multiverse? No. Because the reflection, no, because the reflections are the sea of not the Sea of Stars, but the interdimensional rift is kind of similar to that, but the reflections themselves are not. There's just the one world separated into 14, and they specifically exist, but they aren't different multiverses from each other. But as far as we know, the interdimensional rift is an endless expanse of chaos that kind of contains all possibilities at once, or at the very least, many near infinite timelines at once. Which is why when you transport through it, you can like bear witness to different points in time. But we don't know for sure all of its limitations. So, for instance, it may only be those times that have already come to pass or will come to pass, and that all of time is fixed. And so the moments you can see aren't alternate moments of time, but merely moments that have and will happen. John Carter dates from 1911. Okay, so it is 20th.
So there's a Japanese fairy tale that is basically an isekai that dates back to at least the 7th century. So I feel like, you know, if you want to really push it back, you can go back as far as you want, really.
Runny yolk for toast. Soldiers of classic British food. Dude, runny, look, like over easy egg that's like not overcooked with toast is like the best.
That's what I have a lot of the time.
I don't know,
here, but I'm just saying a lot of like actually Chinese food, unless they're going for like a raw egg, they will go for a more cooked egg.
I mean, Helios, they've clarified it. I disagree that they should over-clarify it. One thing I would love to know is in physical space the ways in which the reflections overlap. But, like, I don't think over-explaining everything is a good idea because it's good to have mystery. It's good to have, like, enigmas, and it's good to have, like, a not full comprehension of exactly all the limitations of, like, the interdimensional rift. So, as someone who loves lore and understanding things, I still want there to be things that are not fully understood.
Yes, Infinite, that's correct.
I think the one thing they do need to do is just make sure that they establish that all the reflections either exist in an overlapping physical space or don't. That's the one thing that they have to do. But also the answer may be, we don't have an answer for this because if we define it one way or another, we're going to cause a lot of problems.
What will is that I've forgotten what I was going to say. Okay. What was it? Sorry, I read about kanji. AC was talking about kanji and century eggs, and it distracted me. Oh yes, I remember now. So Miyazaki was talking about that we might one day get the novelization of George's world building for Elden Ring.
Oh, fuck yes, I want that.
But then he said he doesn't want to give it out because it would answer all mysteries in Elden Ring, and I was like, yeah, that's a good
okay,
point.
I don't want that. See, I was hoping that it would be more of like a design doc, very loose, rather than
apparently not
giving us
apparently it is novel length.
Holy moly!
This man will do anything not to write Winds of Winter. Welcome
to the Eorzean Archives, where we argue about anime, food, and the mysteries of Hydaelyn. Don't forget about television. But yes, you are correct, Light. Underwater Castle 1, that was a reference to Shisui of the Violet Tides. Yes! There's that one for sure. There's multiple person taken underwater to Underwater Kingdom Japanese myths.
Yeah.
Hamburgers with slightly runny eggs is amazing. I can support its existence. I can't say that I'm a fan. I would be a fan of it myself.
Yeah.
See, AC still after much. Sorry, go ahead.
AC, I don't go for like eggs in my kanji really. I go for like a nice simple kanji with lots of sesame oil, maybe some chili oil, and then frog legs.
After much deliberation, I've concluded to finally understand the nature of our reflection. You're an isekai warrior blade. God damn it. Agree, but more info would be nice. Yeah. I want there to still be Ultima Thules, and I don't mean the literal Ultima Thule, but like the periphery of the maps and things that people wonder about or never have complete answers, but we have to question about it. Like, for instance, I don't necessarily want an answer all about Thalos in Upper Lenosia, about like its nature and everything and where it came from, because wondering is a lot of times, and like conversing and theorizing is more interesting than just having an answer. And I think there are aspects of the Sea Star and the Interdimensional Rift where I feel that way. Whereas like the one thing that would really help is like, okay, if you're on one reflection, if you're on the source or the first, and you look out and you see the Sea of Stars, are you seeing the exact same stars? You know, which we don't know for sure. The impression seems to be that we are physically occupying somewhat the same space, but phasally shifted or something. Especially after the recent patches, seems to even further double down on that. Ninieri, my friend, shall we try to fight a boss again?
Yes, let's go fight this fucker.
Let me also make sure I've got. Speaking of kongi, I need to make a pot of that soon.
Kanji.
Have I ever had kongi?
It's like the easiest thing.
Let's see.
Most rice cookers have a setting on that can just make kanji if you just turn it.
Oh, this stuff.
Yeah, just rice porridge basically.
No fan.
That's fair enough. It's not always the most accessible thing, I think, for some people. If you have a lot of sesame oil in it, it makes it a lot better.
Oh, I absolutely respect it as something where you can add things to it and it'll taste better, but it's kind of like oatmeal. It's like, why would I choose that when I could have other things?
I guess I see the oatmeal comparison actually, yeah. So I've never tried matzo ball. I've never tried Jewish food, I guess. I've tried kugel. But I've heard that matzo ball soup is very boring.
It is, but it can be good. It depends. Like the matzo ball. Like, frankly, if you're gonna get matzo ball soup, I'm just gonna say this: go get a good dumpling soup instead.
I had some xiaolong bao the other day that was so good.
Nice. I grew up. Right near me was a Jewish bakery, and then I was, for whatever reason, 3 of the houses in like all my block had Jewish professors in them, so I grew up invited to a lot of dinners with a lot of Jewish food and Yiddish food. And
Fair. Lots of gefilte.
Yeah.
Kimchi's delicious in my estimation, Rag, but a few people bounce off of it.
I feel like it just depends on, do you like the spice or not like the spice, and can you handle the consistency?
Yeah, some people don't like funky tasting food. A good kanji takes hours. I would argue that actually. I would argue that a rice cooker can just make good kanji in like an hour and a half, maybe.
So Helios, to respond to that, right? Like, I agree, but I think pretty much every question about the nature of, other than how they occupy physical space, we've been given that answer from people textually, you know? Wait, are you already finished, Nemus? Well, we earlier we fought him and did all the voices and everything, but this is our 3rd time trying the fight.
Yes.
Because we got our asses handed to us the 2 times before.
It's always a good idea to eat Japanese food and drink sake, co-pilot.
Oh, God, I love Nihon Ryori is so good!
I'm craving some aburi. I want some tuna.
Suffer, die. My hatred will continue until all is destroyed. It is your turn. Come, join me in hell.
Sorry, I just wanted to do that voice. It's
No.
fun.
Yeah, kimchi fried rice is very, very good. It's good with spam, but I would also say like you can put anything in a kimchi fried rice. It is good.
I just love the juxtaposition of this stream.
Come, join me in hell.
Yeah, kimchi fried rice is pretty good.
I really like pineapple fried rice, like Thai pineapple fried rice.
I don't like sweets with my savory usually.
But
I mean, I like mirin glazed salmon, but like pineapple.
But rice is such a blank. It's not really like sweet with savory. It's sort of just like sweet.
I absolutely agree with what you're saying in theory, but like rice for me goes with savory or umami. It doesn't go with sweet.
I see that. I don't necessarily share. I love rice pudding, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah. The only like sweet rice thing I can do is like dango, but like dango doesn't really like taste like
Yeah,
rice.
I think when you get it to rice flour, it's a different thing than rice.
Yeah.
Because doesn't mochi incorporate rice flour as well?
Yeah. Well, I mean, mochi is just smashed rice. You just like
Yeah. Which is
beat and break it down.
Yeah, sweet sticky rice is quite nice as well, like a mango sticky rice, yeah. Although, yeah. I like it if it has the coconut milk on, but not otherwise.
Rat.
Yeah, I like rice pudding. Yeah, I love rice pudding. Like chocolate rice pudding as well.
Okay, here we go. If you can do me a favor, look up the Pixel Remaster real quick. Like, tips for fighting Zero Miss. Do I have any interesting... Make sure that everyone had... Okay, here we go.
Okay, so when it starts to use Big Bang, you know that turn where it shakes?
Yeah.
But if you manage to get off a white or black magic spell that damages Zeromus before it uses Big Bang, after it shakes, it will weaken Big Bang a little bit.
Okay.
Apparently, if you Berserk Cecil, that helps. And then just heal on Rosa. Kane should be jumping at all times. And Rydia should just be spamming Bahamut. For Edge, either use attacks or use Phoenix Downs and Elixirs. Sort of alternate. Oh, Horchata AC. I love Horchata.
Horchata's great. I'm gonna try to cast Cure on him, see if that works. You said white magic, right?
Yeah, but white magic that damages him, I think it has to be holy.
Ah! They could have told me that.
Sorry. So yeah, Kane should be jumping, Cecil should be berserked, Rydia should be Bahamut spamming, Rosa should be healing, and Ed should be covering anything else that needs to be covered. No, Horchata's rice, milk, and cinnamon, right? Is there almonds in Horchata?
Okay, when I use black magic, it makes him cast Flare, so it decreases Big Bang, but that doesn't work.
Okay, in that case, just do it normally. Just do what I said earlier, but without the black magic thing.
What you said earlier was what we were already doing. Ah, fuck it.
I don't know. That's what the guide said. But it does say it only weakens it slightly.
Okay, we may have to reset again because.
Do we have any Bacchus's wine?
We probably do. Yeah, his Flare Reflect makes Big Bang weaker. Yeah, but he then kills. But he does a huge amount of damage to one of your party members, which with Flare plus Big Bang kills all the party members. So it doesn't. That doesn't really change anything. Okay, I'm just gonna look up myself.
Go ahead. Okay, I need to run to the toilet real quick. Maybe.
Yeah, go for it. Big Bang is on its own timer, separate from the attacks it takes on his own turn. When he shakes, he's about to use it. White black magic that hits Zero Miss causes him to counter with Flare, but if you hit him with magic spell after he shakes, it lowers his int, and Big Bang will do less damage. Yeah, but that doesn't really matter because it still kills people. If he shakes again, the int debuff will fall off. Bahamut causes him to cast Bio. I didn't take advantage of the int drop, but I beat him when he stopped spamming. When I stopped spamming Bahamut and giving him tons of counter turns. Okay, so the problem is you need to not use Bahamut. Not because Bahamut just causes him to use Bio, which keeps hitting hard. All of his counters are separate from his turn, so it can take separate actions. Rydia does nothing. Zero Miss will counter all her spells, which is why you're taking so much damage. Okay, so the problem is that we're using summons and stuff on Rydia. Although if we could just keep using what's the buff summon. I know he'll get rid of it, but so, Niniri, you forgot to tell me that when you use Bahamut, that's when he counters with bio.
What if I told you that it doesn't tell me that in this guide? It just says she should be using Bahamut at all times.
Are you looking at the Pixel Remaster guide?
Yes.
Okay.
Pixel Remaster all
Well,
Buster strategies.
Then it would be wrong.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
This feels like such a jump up in difficulty compared to everything we've faced thus far.
It is a big.
Which, I mean, look, it's the final boss, so far be it from me for.
It's a jump up in difficulty from all the other games that we've played so far as well. Tiger nuts. Okay. I don't know what tiger nuts are, but I respect it.
Is it like monkey bread?
What's monkey bread?
I found out about this recently. It's kind of like cinnamon rolls, but in like ball form that's stuck together.
Okay. That sounds pretty good.
65,000 health. In fact, this box resets his HP once at low health, but only if you direct damage him. So reflecting just magic off yourself can be a quick kill. Oh.
Huh. Okay.
Rosa can use Berserk. Berserk all 3 melee and healing with Rosa and Riddy is a good idea. Yeah. Demon's influencing Golbez the whole game reminds me a lot of Ultimeshia influencing Ada, Alda the whole game. Yeah. I think it's definitely... The idea of people being influenced throughout the game or by an entity is definitely a common recurring thing. 16... kind of 15. 13... 12... 10... 8... kind of 9... 7... It's Sephiroth. Yeah, man, it's a very common trope.
So you're on the Berserk train, are you, Reg? You just want us to go Berserk?
Not in 14. 14 you have Asians, really. So like I would have to say 14 definitely. I just wasn't thinking about 14. Or also a certain bird from Beyond the Stars.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Okay, we're gonna try this. I have a suspicion this is gonna work much better.
Okay, nice.
I'm throwing Excalibur at this motherfucker.
Yeah, just throw everything, yeah. Oh, Asa is here.
I cast Holy once, just so that. Throw Kikumanji.
Estinian with Nidhogg Spirit. Yeah, that's true, actually. That's kind of the case, I suppose.
Okay, so Edge is going down.
It seems to go down a lot.
That's why the ladies like Edge.
He edges them. Yeah, Infinite. The problem is sometimes the tactics like this aren't necessarily very intuitive.
Fucking used Holy two times in a row, right?
Yeah, he used
or
Big
you
Bang
just used
twice in a
fucking-
row, didn't it? Yeah.
That's bullshit. Do I go for the full life? No, I want to keep Riddy up. Fuck.
I guess Ceremus' weapons could look like Ceremus, yeah. Look like this bug version of Ceremus. It's gonna be hard to make though, because it's so detail busy.
Well, and also, I mean, like, I wouldn't. The general form I would expect to be the same, but I wonder if the details are going to be quite different.
Oh no, AC is asking if the weapons from Zeramus will look like this. Like just have red, I guess, red and then sort of a stony base.
Why did he bio? Okay, I'm just gonna keep Rosa up. Make sure Rosa stays up. That's the main thing that matters.
Yeah. Okay, so Big Bang coming in. Oh god, wow. They do not give you much time, do they?
They really don't. Oh, fucking come on.
Yeah, almost like a Geiger-esque style infinite for the weapons. Yeah. Oh yeah, Levi said, yeah. That would be cool.
I mean, to be fair, we also saw that kind of thing already with the towers, so.
That's true. That's true.
I wouldn't be surprised though if there was a little bit more of the draconic aspect to the new Zeramus.
That would make sense. There's there's that weird like mech Zeramus that is in the that is this optional super boss in one of the versions of this.
Yeah. Do we really not have any? Oh, there's Pocket Cider. Oh, but I don't want to make Cecil go crazy in case him attacking causes like a bunch of. Okay, what I will do.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Is it Bacchus' side that does berserk?
Curtain with the same effect as reflect. What the fuck is the difference between a light curtain and a lunar curtain?
Let me have a look.
I can only use it on myself. Well, that's fine.
I don't know actually. I can't seem to find out. Oh, it lasts longer.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Lunar one is the longer one.
I don't want to use Berserk because I just don't want to risk like the not having control.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I can win this out if I.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, come on. What? Why did he go instantly go into a fucking What the fuck?
Oh, Christ.
He just does whatever he wants whenever he wants it.
He does seem. This is why the what's its guys don't work. Because they all seem to ascribe logical behavior to him that doesn't actually exist. Okay.
I'm gonna wait till he does the attack now. And then we're gonna full life Rydia.
Yeah, but at least you have more answers to it than Rag. In 9.
Come on, Elixir.
I believe in you.
Where did the flare come from?
Oh, at least it was on Kane.
Yeah.
I told you. See, listen. It's not that my guide was wrong. It's that every guide is wrong.
Fucking attack.
How much? Let me check how much HP this guy has.
Okay, hold until Big Bang. Now.
So I do sometimes see why you feel that way about turn-based games. Sometimes it feels almost out of your hands in terms of skill. He's got 65,000 HP. Yeah, Ozma's a super
Wait
boss.
for the Big Bang. Like, don't get me wrong. I like a good challenge at the end. This is the final fight. Now's the time for this. So, if we're gonna have this kind of challenge, this is the time. But
Yeah.
also, the fuck.
So Rag, I'm not surprised that people beat it at low levels on randomizer runs because speedrunners, that's just what they do. They're just going to be doing that kind of stuff.
I mean, yeah, people can level 1 run no hit the entirety of Dark Souls. Like, it's not that it's impossible.
So AC says, is it a thing in Japanese beliefs that hatred can manifest into its own being as strong enough? And I would say that's a thing in like any animist society, or most.
Yes. But definitely in like Shinto and even Buddhism. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
And like also like pagan religions in Europe and Africa and stuff as well. Like, I think it's just a fairly common thing.
Okay, I've got the cadence down now. I think I've got him.
Yeah. 6, 7, 8, all super easy to beat. I would say that 7 is very easy to beat, yeah.
7 also gives you a lot of time to be able to grind and grow, though, too.
It does, yeah.
Hold.
This is Elio's military discipline.
Oh, nice. Most people got missed.
Hell yeah. We'll take that luck.
Come on. How many elixirs I got? 8. I don't want to risk it. Okay, how much is that going to do damage-wise? Please don't do something stupid. Oh, nice.
Yeah, FF5 can be hard, but that at the same time, again, you can adjust a lot in 5 with the job system. You can just find a busted job combination. Oh, yay!
Okay, also, so far, coolest death of any of the final bosses.
Yeah, pretty cool. I like the background.
GG. Yeah, me too. I was really appreciating that. Easy, first time.
Hell yeah.
Dude, if we do get to find Zero Miss in a thing, I would love it.
As long as evil exists in the heart of the living, I cannot perish. Ah!
As like the trial background, if it was something like that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. They could do that in like maybe like one of the QTE events.
Mm-hmm. Well done. I had no idea you possess such strength. Perhaps the people of the Blue Planet have evolved beyond us Lunarians already. I wonder if that was part of the inspiration for the relationship between the ancients and the people of Aetheris.
I think that's believable.
Like, you think about their role as like, yeah. Yeah, you might be right. Zero Miss's last words bother me, though.
As long as evil exists.
True evil will never die. Every living creature has at least a touch of evil in its heart, alongside goodness. That was literally Panah's words in there. As long as there is light and darkness, the overworld and the underworld, it will be so. Good exists because evil exists, and it is your good that destroyed Zemus's evil. Oh, stop it already. There was nothing to it.
What are you talking about? I was surprised Zemus didn't try to control you. I'm sure you have enough evil inside. Oh.
Nope, my heart is filled with goodness all the way. Believe it.
Well, it is time I return home. What will the rest of you do now?
I think we'll go home too.
Yes, there are people worried about us.
I see. I am glad you have such wonderful friends. I look forward to the day we meet again.
May I come with you?
You wish to join me?
Yes. I cannot return home. Not after all I've done. Would very much like to meet my father's people.
Ah, yes. Lunarian blood flows in your veins. Very well. Come along. I love this music here. Have we ever gotten this in 14? Like this, like the mystery music?
No, I don't think so.
But you must be ready for a long, long sleep.
I am. Thank you. You sounded very worried when you called my name, Cecil. Does that mean you've forgiven me?
That's a brave assumption.
It is.
How foolish of me. Of course not. I have caused too much suffering for that.
We are off. Spend many years in slumber. We pray that the blue planet will be peaceful forevermore. Come.
Yes.
Cecil.
Are you certain you want to part this way?
He's your brother.
Goodbye, everyone.
Cecil!
Goodbye. Goodbye, my brother. Cecil. Thank you.
Oh, this is cool.
It is cool. It's like our first little cutscene, like proper cutscene.
I feel like we've said that 2 other times during this to this game so far.
You might be right, actually.
One born of a dragon, bearing darkness and light, will rise to the heaven over still land.
Who was?
Man, I want this to rhyme so bad.
Who was born of a dragon?
I think the Lunarians are tied to dragons, so
Oh, okay.
The moon's light eternal brings a promise to earth with bounty and grace.
like think of like Fusoya's art, you know?
Okay.
Before long, the moon would set forth on a voyage once more, seeking out its light. Though of shared blood, time's march keeps the two separated. One on Earth, one on the moon.
Man, the idea of the moon going on a long travel, I didn't even realize that was from 4.
Oh yeah. The moon is a spaceship, just keeps happening. Oh yeah, it is moving away. Okay, so strange.
I hope we get off the lunar whale before it went underwater. We shall begin today's training. Yes, sir? Where's Palam? Oh no, not again. Oh, I love this version of the overworld theme. And then I cast Blizzard on the creature that we encountered at Mount Ordeals. Slap. Ow! How many times are you going to be late for training? The Elder is really angry.
How many times do I have to scold you before you learn? It will be years before you are even half the sage Tella was. As punishment, you must train twice as hard as your sister today.
That's not fair. I think it's very fair. When will you come to realize that you have responsibilities? You are heir to the throne. I know, jeez.
Is he heir or is he on the throne?
He should be king at this point. Your mouth says otherwise, but your actions say otherwise. Yeah. The correct word here would be yes, sir. All right, I'll shape up. I can't help but think about Rydia, though. Your Highness, have you been listening to anything I've said? Don't they end up together in after years?
So I don't 100% remember.
What a courageous young lady. Yes, I never thought she would really come back. Rydia! Rydia, why do I have fangs and you don't? I wish I didn't have fangs so I could be like you. How can I be like you?
This is cute. Oh, sorry, that was me. What are you talking about? It doesn't matter what we look like.
With her around, the future looks bright for the land of summons. Indeed, I'm sure she will get more beautiful by the day. That's a weird thing to say.
It is weird. The important thing is what you're like on the inside, not the outside. Isn't that right, Cecil? What? That feels a lot like it went on to inspire Terra in 6. Some of the the Land of the Summons stuff.
Uh-huh. Honey.
You're a queen now. Try calling me king instead of honey.
I know, but I can't stand being so formal.
Oh no, it's time for training.
That was a... What?
Let us begin training. Kya!
Okay.
Is he Starmie? Oh, honey, a king shouldn't be...
Do not say that. I think Yang will create a wonderful kingdom.
Right.
Why is Yang king
Yeah,
now?
why does he have to be king?
Your Highness!
Who let these children?
Hey, Rune, good to see you. Glad to have you out. Play the song about the Paladin again for us.
I will. But only after I finish my work. You want the castle back the way it was, right?
Yeah! That's a promise, right?
Anna. I hope you're watching over me. I'm helping the people of Damsian. I'm caring for other people as I care for you. Like you said I should. I hope you and Tella are having a fine time together.
Cut to fan art of them banging.
Oh god, no, that's mother, father, and daughter.
Oh, right. Whoops. Well, it's deviant art.
Okay, well, sure.
Lolly ho!
We need not repair the castle with great haste.
Your Majesty, we don't have enough materials!
Take apart the tanks and remove any
I'm doing Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Take apart the tanks and remove any useful pieces. There's no need to worry about war anymore.
That's bold.
Father, I wonder how Cecil and his friends are doing.
I almost forgot to tell you. It seems Sir Cecil and Lady Rose are to become the new king and queen of Baron.
Oh my.
And they have been invited to the coronation ceremony.
How lovely.
Your Majesty,
You're not helping to fix the castle at all.
It's not really his job.
No.
I'm the king. I can do whatever I want. Now go take apart some tanks.
Lolly ho!
Why does
Well, it's good to
everyone
see you
have
again,
to be a
Rick.
king?
I don't know.
Cecil, Rosa, I cannot bring myself to face you both. Not yet. I must test myself as you did, Cecil, and mount ordeals. I will train until I've surpassed my father as a dragoon. Only then shall I return to Baron.
You know, with this ending, I kind of appreciate more why After Years was not maybe necessarily necessary, but more like
Yes.
should exist.
Yeah, I agree. Who is that?
Estinian moment, yeah, for sure, Rag.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh!
This is the telescope place.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, what is it? Observatory.
You have to see this! The moon! It's...
Jump scare.
Yeet!
Oh yeah, true, Ray. It's similar to the Loporrit's demonstration. Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of also. I mean, it's different, but the 7 astral, the set in Final Fantasy 7 when you see the astral stuff. I thought I heard my brother's voice.
Really?
I couldn't tell for sure, but forget it. It was probably just my imagination.
Hey, you two. Why aren't you getting ready? It's your big day. We must have lost track of time. You two can play smoochy face all you want later. Come on, Rosa. I mean, Your Majesty. God, everyone has to end up a king in this. Please, just call me Rosa. Well, Rosa, you've got to get dressed. And get some makeup on you. The bride can't keep people waiting. I'll be right there. This feels slightly regressive.
I'm not making. Yeah.
I can't wait to see everyone again. It's been so long. Oh my god.
Yes, I'm ready. I don't have control of it right now.
Oh,
by the way.
okay.
It's auto. It wasn't my imagination. I heard my brother's voice say, "So long." Did Edge just try to hit on Rosa?
I feel like
Her
that's
goddamn.
yeah, classic Edge though, right? Edge feels like a weird choice for the final companion. Like, I feel like Yang would have been better to fight Zeromus with.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, at least. I mean, Edge, I guess, makes more sense though in terms of like mechanically, like having throw and steal. Honestly, steal does not. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Oh, god damn it, Pelham.
Cecil needs no time to prepare for his wedding. He's a man. I mean, he just wears his armor to everything. The moon is haunted.
The moon's engineered, actually.
I'd be interested if they don't put QTEs in again, because they've been doing it since.
Yeah,
Susanna.
it's not like it's a one-off thing.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've seen more people die to having Limit Break 3 or as a requirement
Yes.
for tanks than
Me
I have
too.
from active time and stuff. Oh, wow, that is funny, Rag.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Aww. To fans across the globe, both past and present, and to the crew who brought the originals to life, we offer our profound and heartfelt thanks. Well, Naniri, another Final Fantasy down.
Yeah.
4 of 16.
Are we rating that?
Good question. So I guess first off, of between best one so far?
Best one so far is C plus for FF3 for us both, and yeah, I think this is better than 3.
I might be able to say a B minus.
I think so.
My thing is, I do miss the job system, but also I feel like the fights in this, because they knew what you were gonna have at every point, could be a little more interesting. I still don't think they were that interesting. I think the most interesting fight we had so far was Zeromus, but it also felt like
It wasn't
I don't want to say
intuitive.
capricious. Yeah, and it wasn't like, oh, there's a mechanic to necessarily work around other than don't attack and just wait until Big Bang goes, heal, and then get in a hit or two,
Right.
and then wait.
Yeah.
Which I like. Look, that's a strategy, and you have to strategize. But
So yeah, B- is what we predicted we would give it. I don't think I could go any higher than that.
I don't even. The thing is, the story succeeds better, I think, than 3.
It was like,
and so like, the thing is, I think it's better than 3, but my problem is I feel like 5 through 16, a lot of those are light years ahead, and so I don't want those to all be trapped in the B up range. And so it's like, do we lower the others, or do we?
We could put FF1 at an F.
We could do. Okay, what are the current ranks?
So
FF1 is what? C-?
FF1 is D.
Okay, is it D?
FF2 is C- for both of us. In fact, we're the same all across. FF3 is C+, and FF4 is B-.
Okay, what if we change it? We make FF3 a C.
Okay.
FF4 a C+. FF2. I mean, honestly, I think it's still fine as a D. Or FF1 was a D. Okay, so we'll make that a D+. FF2 is a D+, and then FF1 is a D-. Because I don't think it's an F. I think F is unfair.
Okay, so what we're doing here is, so FF1 is D-.
Correct.
FF2 is D.
D+.
D+. FF3 is C. And FF4 is C+. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I think that's where we're going with.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
I'm happy with that. Because that gives us more room to play around. Because, like, I think 5... I actually don't know where 5 is going to be, but I think, like, 5 onwards is going to, like... We've got a while until we go down, right?
Yeah.
Like, at all. So, we need some room to play.
Yeah, I would have to... Yeah. I would have to think that 5 maybe is going to be similar to 4 in terms of ranking. And then after that, we're going to start to really climb for a bit. Maybe up until we hit, what? 13, really?
Well, it'll depend, right? Because, like, 8 might go back down for some.
True.
We may have, like, conversations, and then, like, you know, and I'm not a huge 7 stan necessarily.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's, like...
7 might go down
definitely...
from 6, actually. That's true for me.
Yeah.
I feel like 9's going to go quite high.
Yeah, 5's got great writing, and then also we're going back to the job system, which if they take what they've learned from 4 and add the job system in, it might actually be good. I'll say I was never historically a huge fan of the job system, but this has been making me come around on it for sure. Okay.
Okay, so we've got C+ for FF4, and we've estimated. So 5, you estimated it at B+, I estimated it at B.
Yeah. I'm thinking 5 is going to be lower than a B+ now. I'm thinking it's probably going to be a B.
Yeah.
Which version of 12 will you do? We're definitely going to do Zodiac Age, no question. I mean, there's no reason not to do Zodiac Age. And also Zodiac Age will make our life a lot nicer and easier for dealing with the like grinds and stuff. How much of 5 is in 14? I couldn't say offhand, but we'll definitely talk about it as we go through. 5 is my favorite of the 6 pixel games. Interesting, Helios. Well, we'll be starting it next Thursday is when we're going to be doing it. Dying Gas and Seas Drag Rise QTEs, I think used well. It could work with Zero Miss. Yeah. I mean, they also use it in for Shinryu and for Susano, and they also have it for Memoria Misera. There are at least, I think, 5 or 6 trials in the game that have it. Trying to think. If there's
quite a
any
few
other
trials that have the QTEs now at this point. It's not like a rare thing. It's not super common either, but it's yeah.
There hasn't been one this expansion though, has there?
No, actually no.
Interesting.
But there was only
1 through 4 is FF.
Shadowbringers, right?
Yeah. Well, no. There was Hades, Seed of Sacrifice,
Hades.
and Memoria Miseria.
Okay, yeah.
There were 3. Yes, the first set of enemies is a lot of Final Fantasy V, correct? And Shinryu and Omega are 5, yes. So there's quite a bit, but we'll definitely be paying attention as we go through. yeah, Naniri, do you have any things that you wanted to hit on or touch on real quick?
So I'm not going to recommend that we do After Years yet. Maybe after we've done all the games, we could revisit it if we felt like it. But I think I want to get through. I want to keep going.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same camp. I definitely think we could spin off and do After Years and that stuff later. Also, I'd like to let people know here too that we may be spinning off the streams onto a different YouTube channel, just because we're noticing that the streams affect the view rates for the normal videos. So, but we'll see. But just wanted to preemptively put that out there. But yeah, some specific bosses for FF5 are also in 14 dungeons. Yeah, that's kind of true for almost all of them, though. Really, there's like a couple things from almost everything. Big help would have been sealing the power cloth and Holy Dragon Lance from Holy Dragon in the previous floors. They had a lot of attack power. Plus, there's an adamant armor for some. Yeah.
Oh, infinite, yes.
But like the. Oh God, infinite. Okay, friendly reminder, every Monday and Tuesday we have MSQ streams. On Wednesday, videos come out if they're coming out. Thursday, me and Naniri stream here, as well as I go over to talk with Chris from Work to Game. And then and then right now, Friday, Saturday, Sundays are undetermined. However, next Saturday? Maybe not this coming Saturday, but next week's Saturday, we're going to be doing our cooking stream that you guys funded. So if you wanted to watch that, that will be on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to support us, you can support us with $1 over here on Patreon, over here on YouTube. It'll get your name in the green, and you'll be able to access to all sorts emotes, like Kiko doing the Gobby Booms up earlier. Or you can support us on Patreon, offer us a couple $1 months, get your name at the end of videos when we put those out, and also over on you'll get your name changed on the Discord server and in the banner above my head. So yeah. Naniri, I am very excited to be back and playing stuff with you. I know we're intermittent. But I'm excited for 5. I'm also excited because like how many things for 4. Now that I've replayed 4, like when 6.5 comes out, I feel like any references I'm much more attuned to like pick up.
Right. Yeah, I think it surprised me just how much 14 relies on 4 for some of its inspirations. Like it really, not just in Endwalker either. Like there's a lot.
Well, and like I always knew Ishikawa and the team really loved 3, but I didn't realize that 4. Like I knew Endwalker was inspired by 4, but I didn't realize like how hardcore Endwalker was inspired by 4.
Yeah, very hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also like I don't think they're going to be going linearly, but I wonder if for 7.0 if there is a specific Final Fantasy they have in mind that they feel like is going to be the inspiration route.
Right.
Like I don't assume just like they're going to go to 5, but.
How many forms Remus would take in trial? Definitely, like...
I'd say maybe 2.
Yeah, they'll skip the head. The stupid head with the hair. I think they'll go, like his human form, then his, like, Geiger form, and then maybe if they do, like, a mythic, they'll do, like, the mech form from the optional super boss.
Yeah. Various games. Yeah, well, I mean, that's what we're saying is usually that is the case, and that's what we know to be the case. But the level to which this has taken specifics for a broad swath of an entire expansion in a way that not all the others have, like Shadowbringers to an extent with Crystal Tower, but not totally, or with 3, is kind of our point. Just like the level to which you can really point out. But also notice that I always notice that what we're traveling through here, this imagery is the same as the use for the interdimensional rift in 14.
Yeah, that's been repeated a few times, isn't it? Yeah.
Inspiration from Masters from 12. Well, they've already brought those in though. I mean, just go do Bawzia and Ivalice.
Yeah.
Helios. That's they already had all the Matsuno stuff already does use those. I do hope 7.0 is based on 10. I would love it if it was based on 10. I would gladly accept any it being inspired by any of them. My personal hope is 10 inspires one of the reflections because it'll give them much more room to be creative with it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Then again, there's space to do 10 stuff in Mirror City, to be honest. 10 always felt kind of Australian-y.
Yeah. Well, it's because so much of it's like inspired by like the island culture of Japan or like places like Okinawa and stuff.
Yeah, Waka feels like an Australian guy to me, like a
well, I'm pretty sure like
/ Australian.
I don't remember if this is actually correct. I would have to relook at the Japanese, but like one of the things that like how at the end they say ya at the end of a lot of things or like at the end of things in 10, that comes from the Japanese, because a lot of things I think there are times of saying things like dano or like desyo or like a lot like certain things that at least for some of them like
Okinawan dialect or something.
Yeah, I know like da instead of des is a very common thing for I believe Okinawa.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, I guess we're gonna call it here, guys. I have to go to the bathroom and then I gotta go talk to Chris. If you want to check us out, I don't know when me and Chris are going live. I believe we're going live soon. He hasn't contacted me back yet, but we'll be doing that soon. So me and Chris talk about World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy 14 and kind of comparing them. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Naniri, my friend, good to see you. And yeah, I've been Elio Forceron.
And I've been Naniri.
And we will see you next time, guys.